this last Slim Jim. We're starving. What are you cooking? Is that your stomach?
Boy, is that Slingshot?
Yeah. Slingshot season. Hey, let's run it. Hey. Grace hit me like boom. Can't miss. God with me, whole squad gon' win. Devil try to throw shade. I grin cause the light too bright where I've been.
Welcome to Slingshot Nation, everybody. I'm your host, Tony Merkel. Thanks for tuning in to another Thursday. I'm enjoying Slingshot Nation, and I'm here with my buddy, Derek. Derek, how you doing, man?
Tony, doing great today. Excited.
Listen,
I love East Tennessee Cryptids. It's so great.
Every time we do a Slingshot Nation where we focus on Appalachia, it seems like people really enjoy that. So no better week to do that than this week because we have two guests in studio. In fact, I'm not even going to talk to Jack today because Jack is behind the scenes. He's here, but there's not enough mics for everybody. And so I guess that's my problem. I should probably... Should we? Hey, Jack. Nope, never mind. I can't talk to him. But maybe
post-production.
Maybe he can send us text messages throughout the show, and we can read them on air. But maybe I need to find a new some new tech in here to allow Jack to have a microphone too when we have a full table. But we do have a full table today. We have Matt Seeber here in studio from East Tennessee Bigfoot.
Awesome.
How you doing, man?
How y'all doing? Doing real good.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
You're a local guy, Knoxville. Yes. So, and we also have legend of the show, Martin Groves.
Super stoked to be here and see everybody today. Super stoked.
Yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. The way this kind of came together. Actually, Matt, you were supposed to be here a few weeks back, I think it was, and I messed up the schedule with something. I forget what it was.
No, there was some doctor's appointments.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think I planned to have you in the day that I had to take my wife to the hospital. Yeah. And today's another one of those days. And so I was like, can you have your mom take you to the hospital? I really messed my schedule up again, and that's kind of where Derek comes in. Derek is like the guy.
Don't handle your personal schedule.
That's true.
So
that's true.
That's where it gets a problem.
Maybe we need to change that. I'll just call Derek at midnight. I'm like, okay, so Derek, what am I doing with my kids tomorrow? But yeah, so. I'm glad to have everybody here at the studio, and we're going to have a great conversation today. The reason why Martin is, you can come out anytime, Martin, just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Open invitation. But
yes.
It was fitting because we have the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference this weekend, and everybody in this room is going to be at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. So if you're watching right now and you enjoy these guys, which I don't think you won't, you should definitely come on out to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference and meet all of us. Matt's going to be. Do you have a table there? Do you have a?
I will.
I'll
have a booth. Yeah.
Okay, so Matt's going to have a booth there for East Tennessee Bigfoot. We're going to have a booth there. I'll be participating in the roundtable discussion. Derek, I'm sorry I spit on you again. I feel like I do that every week.
I was raised with my dad. It's all good.
I get really when I get really excited, my mouth gets full of saliva, and I just start spitting.
It's all good.
Unfortunately, you're going to get Tony Robbins today. So, because I hear he spits a lot when he speaks. But I'm going to have a roundtable discussion. I'm not actually hosting it. The last time I participated at Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, I was hosting the roundtable. And this year we have a different host. I forget which person is hosting it. David, I think it is. David Bacara?
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce his last name? Bacara?
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. Never been to his museum, but he has a museum in Georgia called the Bigfoot Museum. Is that what it's called?
Expedition Bigfoot?
Expedition Bigfoot.
Yes.
It's a museum off of a road.
Cherry Log, Georgia.
Cherry Log, Georgia.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the road. I remember I was driving from Florida back here, and I was going to stop by, and that was the point of the drive where I was like, I'm not stopping anywhere. I'm just going home. It was like a 10-hour drive, and I'm not a trucker anymore. I'm not used to it. It just stinks. So, but he's going to be hosting the roundtable conversation there, and I think they usually go about 45 minutes to an hour. Lori Wade's going to be there at the roundtable, and Levi, I can't remember his last name, but I have never met this other guy yet. But we're going to do a roundtable discussion. It's going to be awesome at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, and Martin is going to be a featured speaker. You're going to be speaking on stage by yourself, no supporting cast like a roundtable, just alone on the stage. Are you scared?
I am totally freaked, but now I have backup. I am going to have with me as a special guest Sammy the Sasquatch, and Sammy will appear for his first time and he will be right beside of me. He's a little guy, just been born, so he's a little bitty guy. So I'm gonna carry Sammy with me.
So that's how you caught him.
So
He
I
was
will
learning
hang
how
on
to
to
walk.
that.
And he was crawling through the woods, and you picked him up by the back of the neck.
Snatch him
You're
up.
coming with me, boy.
I didn't think that
he's
was
coming
Martin
with
in
me.
that photo holding the baby Sasquatch.
Yes,
Oh my gosh,
I
that was
do.
Martin. I didn't
so
know.
everybody will actually get to see Sammy the Sasquatch.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody out there. It's gonna be a great time. At our booth, we're gonna have some new merch. Actually, one of the merches that we're gonna have is what I'm wearing here. Our T-shirt. There. Catch me outside. How about that?
Totally awesome.
It's the perfect T-shirt, and so if you want this T-shirt, it's only going to be available at the Smoking Mountain Bigfoot Conference. So that's me bribing you to come out and meet me and shake my hand and pretend you like me. But also, we have coffee that we're going to be doing where nobody's ever tasted our coffee publicly yet, and we're going to be giving free taste testing there at our booth. And we'll be selling our newly minted coffee. And because we're doing that, we've made a second custom shirt for Smoking Mountain Bigfoot Conference. And Derek is wearing that. Hang on. Show him the front, because I like the front.
The front.
Jack, zoom in. You can't zoom in. Probably can't. The
Confessionals,
confessionals, nice
nice.
cursive. Stand up and strut your stuff, though.
All right, let's
show
do this.
Show them. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Work it. Hairy Man's House. That's
I love this.
That is one of the blends that we have, and we have other ones like Pinky's Out. What are the flavors? You guys?
We got UAP, unidentified aromatic. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it is. Aromatic pleasure.
Don't talk to Jack. He's not here today.
Jack's not here. And we got Midnight Merc. Tony in the middle of the night drinking coffee.
Midnight Merc. Pinky's Out, and the Pinky's Out has actually 6 fingers. That's why there's 2 out for the Pinky's Out.
2 pinkies. That's
so
right.
we gotta go to the Nephilim branding. 6 fingers. So we have some really fun stuff at the booth for next week, and I'm looking forward, or not next week, this coming weekend, Saturday, July 25th, and I believe that it's. To get in, you just pay a flat fee for the expo, and then if you want to hear the speakers, there's another fee for that. But if you don't want to hear this amazing man speak,
Yes.
and me fumble all over myself with a roundtable discussion, then you can just come in for the expo and meet Matt and ignore us over here. So, Matt,
I'll be there.
You're gonna hog all the attention.
I hope so.
All right.
I hope they see me and say, "Hey, I want to talk to that guy."
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, Jack, stop talking. You don't have a mic. Jack's over there talking, and
He has a microphone. It's
pretty,
just not
pretty
plugged
soon,
in.
what's going to happen is Jack's going to say something. One of these guys are going to answer. People are going to think they're just talking to themselves. Anyway, Smoking Mountain Bigfoot Conference. Now we are doing a giveaway. Today is our last giveaway. We're all going to be, not these two guys, unless you guys want to come, but I'm not paying for your trip. The Remnant Rising 2.0 conference in Missouri. The ministry is called Hear the Watchman, and we're going to be out there. I don't remember the dates now. August 6th,
7th through the 9th.
7th through the 9th. Thank you, Derek. I'll be speaking at that conference. I'll be speaking Friday night, but I'll be there throughout the whole weekend. I'll be on a panel discussion Sunday afternoon, and we are giving away tickets. Now, we've given away 5 tickets, and this is the last week, so we have one lucky winner to win a ticket. If you do not win a ticket and you still want to come, we have a discount code for you, so you still purchase a ticket. If you use Merkel 20, you'll get $20 off.
$20 off.
All right, Jack, give me the nod. $20. I can't remember if it's dollars or percentage, but you'll get $20 off if you use Merkel 20 for your ticket. So even if you don't win a free ticket, you can still get a discount ticket. Let's get to this wheel. And Jack told us before we started that I have to narrate it because he doesn't have a mic. So here we go. We are bringing up the wheel. And how many, Jack? Just you can say it and I'll say it on there. How many names are on this roughly? Probably about 400. And so, listen, we told you guys in the beginning, the very first time we did this, there was probably about, 50 names. And we said, get in early because the list is going to grow. And now we have like 400 names on here. So whoever wins today is literally a lucky winner. Jack, give her a spin. All right, we are spinning. And we're coming up here on...
Rotation.
Who is it? We got a winner. Holly
Holly
S.
S.
Holly S. Yes, yes, yes. Holly S. You are coming to Remnant Rising 2.0. Jack will be in contact with you, and he'll pass on your information to the appropriate people at the conference, and you'll get your free ticket. I can't wait to see you there. And anybody else, just a reminder, if you want to come on out to Remnant Rising 2.0, you can. Just go get your ticket. Use Merkel20 for your discount code of $20 off. See you there. Hear the Watchmen, Remnant Rising. Let's go. We're going to get supernatural with that conversation. The organizer said to me that he doesn't really tell the speakers what to speak about. And so I was like, oh boy, this is going to get interesting.
Be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
So I'm going to probably do, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a supernatural conversation because that's what I like talking about. So we're going to talk about the reality of the supernatural realm and how it applies to people's lives. So I'm excited about it, and you should be too. So last but not least, before we get to paying the bills, I just want to let you guys know, listen, the book. Oh, what is that on camera? The Confessionals, Exposing Warring Kingdoms. This is my new book, my first book. I shouldn't even say new book. This is my first book, and I have printed copies. You don't have printed copies yet because it's not coming out till October, but I had these delivered to my house, and we will be selling them at Remnant Rising 2.0. So if you come on out to the conference, you could be some of the first people in the world to own a copy of my book. And since I'm there, I'll sign it for you if you want. But if you don't want, no hard feelings. But this book I wrote, and it is all about what I was just talking about, exposing warring kingdoms, the supernatural realm, and the reality that there are opposing forces. And it's a very complex system, and it's my discovery of that process and that system throughout the process of this show. It starts in my early life where I had pretty interesting experiences, let's put it that way, that I didn't really consider and think about a whole lot until I started writing the book. And just this book is like me documenting my journey into my supernatural understanding from childhood. Then the show starts, how the show started, and that whole chaos. My 3-hour experience with the Satanist at his house, that chaos, and then into the show and me discovering certain aspects of the supernatural realm through people's experiences that led me down this road of my personal understanding of how things operate. It's all documented in this book, and I do believe this book is going to change people's lives that are really struggling with certain things. People have experiences that they don't understand, and and this is not a shot at anybody, any pastors or churches, but traditionally, people have experiences where they can't really go into church because the church, unfortunately, is not set up to handle supernatural encounters and experiences, and they don't know what to do with it. And they go from anywhere from people are going to think I'm crazy to am I even a Christian? And the answer is no, you're not crazy. And yes, you can be a Christian and have experiences because you are in a war. The subject is you. They're seeking your destruction, and so you will have experiences because you have a target on your back. And so that's what we document in this book. It is forwarded by L.A. Marzulli, a good friend of mine, and I called him the other day. I said to him, I sent him a voice memo, and I called him my sensei. I was like, "Teach me what you know, sensei," and he seemed to like that. So hopefully, this is me trying to bribe him to be my mentor. And so, and my pastor's texting me right now. How many chickens did you lose? Oh, well, that's a different topic. I just want to make sure it wasn't an emergency. I'm sure he's watching actually right now. Pastor, I've lost all my chickens. I have no more chickens. They're dead.
Oh, man.
And so even my rooster, who I had for going on 5 years. And so he was a good boy, but the raccoon got him. And what really bothers me is that the raccoon got him, and like raccoons are known for popping the heads off the chickens and leaving the body. He did that with my last remaining hen, but he just killed my rooster. Didn't do the head thing, didn't eat him, nothing, just killed him. And I was like, man, in the chicken coop. Anyways, I'm going to get distracted here, so let's get back on topic. What was I talking about? Oh, my book. Pre-order. You can do pre-orders now on Amazon for the book. The link is in the description of this episode. You can just go to Amazon, look up Tony Merkel book. It will pop up for you. And when you do a pre-order, it helps the algorithm know people are interested in the book. They push it to more people. And right now, I haven't checked recently, but it was ranking #1 in Supernatural and Ghost and Hauntings. Thanks, Jack. He's over there whispering my answers to me. And so that's really good for a book that hasn't even been published yet. Like, it's not out, you know? Yeah. So the more people pre-order, the more the book will get exposure and the more lives can be changed. So if you want to be part of the success of this book, please go ahead and pre-order the book. Awesome. Thank you very much. And so before we get into the topic of the day of the cryptids and East Tennessee, you can't go cryptid without crypto.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yes.
And that is my transition. Derek, we're not talking Bigfoot with you, are we?
No,
Okay.
It's time for our paid advertisement from Rumble Wallet. How much control do you have over your money right now? Technology has changed everything, and now it's changing how money works. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. Faster payments, more control, fewer middlemen. This isn't hype. It's just where things are going. And getting started today is easier than you think. With Rumble Wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, hold dollar-backed stablecoins, even own digital gold backed by real gold, all in one place. And it's non-custodial crypto wallet, which means you, not a bank or a platform, control access to your funds. Setup is simple. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your debit card, credit card, or bank account and be up and running within minutes. And for a limited time, you can start your wallet with $10 in US stablecoin by downloading the Rumble Wallet and app and entering the exclusive promo code confessionals10 when you sign up now. You can even use your Rumble Wallet to support your favorite Rumble creators like this show. So do it now, scan the QR code, click the link in the description, or go to wallet.rumble.com/confessionals and download Rumble Wallet. Go ahead. You're going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So go to wallet.rumble.com/confessionals and download your Rumble Wallet. From there, you can get set up your wallet, enter promo code confessionals10 to get your $10 in US stablecoin. This is a limited time offer, so act now. Take control of your money. Get started with Rumble Wallet today. Terms and conditions apply. See the description below or visit rumble.com/promo official rules for details.
That last part, the whole conditions, right? How fast can you speed read? Because you got to make it like a commercial where it's like, they don't even know what you're saying. It's just like, just trust me, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't trust you because you just said something I don't understand,
That felt like California, New York.
Might cause cancer, So, yeah, anyways. Thank you, Rumble. And you said Rumble creators. We are Rumble creators. People don't maybe realize that, but we are on Rumble as well as YouTube. And we've actually been building a relationship with Rumble for quite some time. And they're good people over there. And I do believe in that platform a lot. So check it out, Rumble Wallet. And listen, guys, we're here in the heart of just Cryptid City, right? What I didn't realize how much I was moving to an area that had just rich with this stuff. When I came here, I knew that it was going to be more so that than Philadelphia, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I went down to I'm going to drop him again, Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria. He was here a few weeks ago, and when I went to his pizzeria and he told me that he's like, do you know who Scott Carpenter is? I'm like, yeah, I know who Scott. I mean, I don't know him, but I'm aware of him. He's like, yeah, he lives in Maryville. I'm like, wait, that's where my studio is at, really? And so I had him on the show, and just talking with him before he passed, I learned how this specific area of Maryville, and I can't even say the word Maryville on text anymore because it spells it not as Maryville, which is what it is. So anybody who's not local, it's spelled Maryville, but locals say Maryville.
Your talk to text is no good.
No, it's no good. And I try. I'm like, I think I'm saying Maryville, and it's still saying, you mean Maryville? I'm like, yeah, that's what I mean. But this area is just so jam-packed with cryptids, missing 411, mysterious nature, and it seems like it ripples out from here. You have the Smoky Mountains, like literally we can see the Smoky Mountains from where we're at. If you make a right out of here, you go up the mountain, you're at Adams something, I forget.
Abram Falls.
Abram Falls, thank you. You're at Abrams Falls within not even 20 minutes, which has tons of mysterious things. My friend Brian Jeffrey, he researches the area heavily. We were just talking about him earlier today, the guy who went missing. What was his name?
I couldn't remember.
Michael Heron. back in 2014 goes missing up there, and from my perspective, it's a missing 411 type of case. It's unsolved, and it's just like the circumstances around it are just so mysterious. Like from what I remember off the top of my head, he wasn't even planning on being gone long because he left his wallet, his keys, his gun, everything was in his truck. He takes off on a side-by-side or a four-wheeler, and they find the four-wheeler in the keys in the on position, gas tank's empty. Like, theoretically, he was just taken off the four-wheeler, and the four-wheeler just drove into, they say, like some trees and just kind of ran out of gas there. Is that right, Martin?
Yes. And it's such a mysterious circumstances behind his disappearance, and it goes hand in hand with what we have in this immediate area for hundreds of years, where hunters, the pioneers disappeared, the first people that lived here, and it just goes hand in hand with all these stories for a couple of 100 years.
Yeah, it's wild, and I mean, I can only imagine if this area is what I suspect it to be, like, and for Tony's lingo, supernaturally charged. I can only imagine what the stories were of the Cherokee and those who literally lived in this area. Like, we live in the area inside our homes, inside buildings. They're like, no, like, the woods are our homes. Like, we live here. I can only imagine what they would have had seen and experienced. You look like you have something run through your head, Matt.
No, I'm just thinking about a lot of things that I've heard over the years. Yeah.
Okay. So along with the cryptids and everything that I want to hit, I would definitely want to hit on Bigfoot today. I want to present this line of thinking, and I want to do it. And there's a reason why. If you look at, I guess, on my shoulder over here, and if you flip the Derek Jack, that panther that's on Derek's shoulder. The reason why I put that there, it's like, well, that's not a cryptid. It kind of is. And let's leave the whole it being a magical panther out, because I could have fun with that. But the very fact that, I stem from Pennsylvania, where they say there are no mountain lions. Yet I've heard of people having mountain lions up there. One of the guys I used to work with said that in the area that he was in, a mountain lion was hit and killed, like roadkill, and like law enforcement, let's just say it that way, came in, like coned off the road, blocked it off, cleaned up the site, like for a mountain lion, And so, like, there's that element of what are they, what if they are willing to go to that extent of being like, we got to clean this up before people see it, and it's a mountain lion, what do you think they're going to do when a trucker hits a Bigfoot or a Dogman, right? Like that, that's next level emergency. Down here in East Tennessee, they also say there's no mountain lion. In fact, they say the eastern part of the country, the official narrative, as far as I understand now, to this day, is East Coast of the United States doesn't have mountain lion. That they went extinct 100 years ago, and they are no longer here. They were hunted out. Yet we have countless of people saying that they've seen mountain lion. Right now, I think if you're just taking a person who is not really into these topics, cryptids and all that, and you say mountain lion, they're like, oh, that was extinct, but at least we know that exists here in the United States. If you tell them there's black panthers in the United States, they're going to be like, that's impossible. They never were here. Mountain lion were at least once here. We know they're on the West Coast. Black panthers, they were never here. However, this immediate area has black panthers. And it's crazy because we have them on pictures, and I have pictures to show people today. And I was hoping that
awesome.
I was hoping that I could have one picture that I don't have today. But Brian Jeffrey, he has a picture of one. So first of all, I want to say that Eddie a few weeks ago shared about law enforcement coming into his pizza shop, and I think it was a local sheriff, if I remember correctly, who had it on his dash cam of a black panther going across the road, I think down 411. And he said the tail was so long it curled around the guardrail. It was a massive cat. Huge cat. Yeah. But he wasn't allowed to do anything with that. He's not allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Brian in Frozen Head, right?
Frozen Head.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I always want to say frozen fish. I don't know why, but Brian does a lot of research, and I'm going to bring him in for a Slingshot Nation at some point. He does a ton of research in this area, East Tennessee. He goes all over the place. It's literally essentially his full-time job. This is what he does. He's a retired veteran, and he goes and hunts the mysterious things, and he's trying to get like things like black panthers recognized that they are actually here. He has an image where it's one game trail camera that has a picture of a deer walking across. It has a picture of a wild boar walking across, and it has a black panther. And the black panther, if the distance this panther was from the camera versus the other animals, was larger than the wild boar. Wow. It was massive. Even if that scale is off, it still was a black panther at Frozen Head, not fish. And so and I've seen the image. I just don't have it. But today we do have two other images, which is really interesting because I shared one before, and it's in Kodak, Tennessee, and Kodak is not far from Knoxville. I almost bought a house in Kodak when I was looking to move down here. And Jack, if you pull the first one up of the one walking through the field, full body, yeah, at it from a distance, yes, that one. So this is a black panther walking through a field in Kodak. Now, I've had people say that because of the distance, you don't know if that's a black house cat, and you know, there's part of me, and I'll be honest, like there's part of me that I'll choose to believe it. You know, like I want to believe that that's a black panther, right? And I've seen Brian's image, and now this one in Kodak that was sent to us in an email. I can't remember the lady's name, or else I'd give her a shout out. And there's that. Okay, so take it for what it is, you know. And if you want to say it's a black house cat, okay, we got a black house cat. Tony's a fool. However, on Sunday, after I was done worshiping the Lord in the foyer of my church, a sister came over and who does not do these topics. She doesn't follow Bigfoot. She just knows that I tackle unusual topics. She said a friend of hers that lives in Kodak got on a game trail camera around their house, I suppose, a black panther. Don't put it up yet, Jack. When she tells me this, I'm thinking what I have here, you know, which is distance, kind of fuzzy. It's not a clear image. You know, it's like the shoulder or something. You're like, oh, that's clearly a black panther. Somebody else will be like, that's a Bigfoot. I'm like, I don't know what it is, you know? Jack, show them what we got. Show them what we got. That is a black panther in Kodak, Tennessee.
Bingo.
Oh, wow.
Boom, baby, boom. Like
No denial.
4K, high def, not a mountain lion, not tan. That is a black panther right outside Knoxville, Tennessee.
Wow.
Now,
That's incredible.
if this video disappears,
At least we've seen it today.
Right.
We've seen it.
so all of you guys watching right now, and I used to be somebody, keep that up for a little bit, Jack. I used to be somebody that when people, back in the day when I was like starting my Bigfoot hunting journey, I'm in Pennsylvania, going out into the Appalachian Mountains up there, which are more like hills compared to down here. And I'll send it to you, bro. I'll just send it to you.
Oh, it might disappear before the show's over.
No, on my phone. I'll send it to you.
Before the show's over.
Matt, send it to me too when you get it. I want
If
it
it
to.
disappears off my phone, we got bigger problems than the cat.
Yeah,
right?
it's bigger than the cat. Yeah.
But people would talk about these black panthers being up in like New York State. And I was like, who cares? It's a black cat. The more I got into the cryptid stuff, the mysterious nature of things that exist that shouldn't exist, the more I'm like, oh no, like there's a reason to care if there's a black panther walking anywhere on this this country's grounds. And it's not because, I mean, there's plenty of reasons, I'm sure. But Matt just keeps looking at it like he's
so incredible.
I'm trying to
You can't get
compare it
enough of
to what people are saying is the black jaguar from South America.
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything like it. I mean, that looks like a cougar, only black.
black. Yeah.
Because their facial structure's different for a jaguar. You take a good look at a jaguar.
I've never looked at
It's got
the
a more
difference.
rounded head. These
Okay.
things got these big jaw lines on them, and that's special right there.
Right?
That's special.
So
That's the real deal right there.
Yeah.
That's the real deal.
I think it is, right? But I look at these topics, and you're looking at the mysterious side of it, right? And people, talking about the existence of Black Panthers, and I used to be like, who cares? But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I know Black Panthers exist somewhere on this world, just like I know mountain lions exist, right? But officially, they don't exist in the United States. Mountain lion do, just not this part of it, officially. But Black Panthers do not exist here. Yet we have them on trail camera 3 times. I officially three times have seen. I saw Brian's footage. I showed you the 2 Kodak pictures here. Both those pictures are from Kodak, Tennessee. It might be the same cat. Yeah. So why is it that? And this is my question to launch conversation. Why is it that something that does not exist in the United States, but does exist officially in the world, a Black Panther, is documented 3 times on a game trail camera footage that have come to me, just me? There's probably countless of other people who have had similar documentation that just didn't have a platform to put it on. Mm-hmm. Why is it that we have Black Panthers on game trail cameras and not other things that do not exist in the United States? Bigfoot, Dogman. And I'll just say, I don't care what answers you guys have here. You can say something that I don't want you feeling like, oh, Tony's not going to agree with me on this. Say whatever you want. I come up from a very extreme supernatural worldview, and that's where I lean. But why is it that we don't have pictures of something that quote unquote doesn't exist, like Bigfoot and Dogman, but we do have pictures of something that does not exist in the United States of Black Panthers?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Simple for me. Scott Carpenter said you can make a perimeter around your property if you point each camera to each other. Bigfoot knows. They know. They're intelligent. They're not animals. Panthers are animals. They don't consider what that camera is. They might look at it. They might think it's kind of goofy looking to them, or you've seen bears sniff them. Bears rip them off trees and chew on them, but they're not looking at that as possibly being detected by humans.
Yeah.
And I think Bigfoot and other cryptids like that don't want to be seen. They don't want to be messed with. And you've got to consider, too, whatever's out there, if it has enough intelligence to know to stay away from game cams, it knows a lot more.
Yeah, and it's like what is it? Like, why is it that they have that need for secrecy? Like you say the intelligence aspect of things, like that's beyond just intelligence. Like that's, I don't want to say nefarious isn't the right word, but it's that angle of like, I need to be secret. Mm-hmm. There's this intelligence that's like, not only is it intelligent, but it's extremely aware that I need to be secret. I cannot be seen. Yeah. I need to be seen only when I allow it to happen. Scott Carpenter, who you just brought up, he said that, I think I can say this, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. He said at one point he had Sasquatch coming up to his house, and I know where he lived. I've been in the house. Scott was not in the mountains of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He was in Maryville. He lived in a neighborhood, an old development. His house was between, I think, 2 other houses. So he has these things coming up to his house. He even had neighbors who claimed to have seen his words relayed to him from his neighbors. I got to say that clearly. They saw a little black boy climbing the trees of the neighborhood. Like that. And he's like, that ain't. And I think he even laid eyes on it. He saw what it was, and they were defining it as a black kid, but he's like, no, that's a Bigfoot. And so they do come up to the property, and you're talking about the barrier aspect. But why is it that they even feel the need to come to Scott's house in a development? Like, are they doing this to other people, or are they only doing it to people who are going and hunting them?
They may be doing it to me.
Really? Where are you at?
The property.
Tell me,
Anderson
I want
County
your
where
address.
I live in Clinton.
Okay, so
It's
Clinton,
about
Tennessee.
16 miles west-northwest of Knoxville.
Okay.
And the person that I go to the farm where all this stuff is happening in my corner is about, as the crow flies, maybe 10 miles. I've been to her property many times. I've looked at things. I've cast the track. I've found hair samples, all these kinds of things. If it's watching her, it's watching me. And we think it's got a kind of a crush on her. But anyway, I have an old cherry tree that we had cut down, and I left it about 3 feet high. And just for giggle's sake, I left an apple. It came a large rain, large storm. The next day, got 2 different size possible tracks in my yard near that stump with no apple. And one of them was pushing 18 inches.
Wow.
Now, I can't say for 100% that it's a track, but I've got photos, and we can discuss that at some point. But I think that if you're interested in them, they become interested in you.
They do.
And I did have an experience when my son had his experience in 2005 that I think kindly connected me to them in a way that I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could back off and say, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I can do that physically, but it never leaves my mind. It never leaves my consciousness. I'm always thinking about this in one form or other. Plus, when you start throwing in the Dogman and some of this other stuff, that just builds on it.
It does.
So
it does.
You start thinking, I start thinking Dogman. I thought, I need to call Martin because I don't want nothing to do with that nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's very possible that, in my opinion, of course, we're going back, I'm going in circles. When the Native Americans say that they used to trade with these beings, they used to have interactions with them, and they were almost like neighbors. They considered themselves almost friends, people of the woods. And then the Europeans came in with guns, and we showed Bigfoot how dangerous we are. And they've passed that knowledge on to their children and their children and children and children. And they know to stay away from us because we are dangerous. We talk about, is Bigfoot good or Bigfoot evil? Well, is mankind good or is mankind evil?
Yeah.
We're
well
evil.
Said. Well said.
We are evil.
Yeah.
Bigfoot may be just trying to protect itself, scaring us, throwing rocks, doing all those things. Get away from me. I don't want no part of you because you are evil. That's how I look at it at this point in my life. So, I mean, it's fluid. That might change tomorrow. It's changed over the past 20 years. What Bigfoot is, who Bigfoot is, where it's from, what it's about. That changes every few days for me.
I think it should be fluid because we're talking about something that is so mysterious. There's so many questions surrounding it. And unfortunately, some of these researchers, these people who pride themselves on their research, they get to a point where maybe subconsciously they're saying this, they're not saying it consciously, but they get to a point where there is no question as to what it is anymore. Yeah. They got to figure it out. And I think it's good to remain fluid because that means that you are inevitably saying, I don't have it all figured out. My opinion on the topic has changed dramatically over the years. Go ahead, Martin.
Let's walk it back just because there's so much serious aspects here, especially with what Matt had said as well. Well, let's go back to your original question, back to the Black Panther and the existence. We have to go back, and it's such a shame that we have lost so much of our history that is no longer taught. and it's not taught inside the schools. We can go back, though, to the very first ship captains that landed here, and they sent out hunter teams, and they were quite good with their records. And they kept manifests, they kept journals, and one thing that they were really good at is not only would they write down numbers, they would write down, and some of them were quite very good artists. And on the ship's manifest, one thing that leads us to back to the Black Panther is we have manifests that do exist where along the Appalachian Mountains all the way from New York all the way down to going into Georgia, hunter teams had killed black panthers. They had killed all different types of game, and they would write down how much and what they've shot, what they've killed, what they ate. And there is one manifest that is very important, and I do not recall the name of the team that went in, the group that had went in. So we do have a chronological order of what they killed to eat along their travel, and Black Panthers was in there. But what's so important, we have Black Panthers being seen today, and why is it that when we have witnesses that are so great in their testimony that they say, we've seen a Black Panther, why are those so easily to dismiss these good folks? And then we walk it around, why do we dismiss and hide the Black Panther? And we come to what Matt is speaking of when we have no photographs, no good pictures of the game cameras with Bigfoot. The answer is easy, is because the Black Panther is, in my belief, partly flesh and blood, but Bigfoot is not. Mm. But they know when the game cameras are up. Matt is very experienced in this, and they will walk around the game cameras, and they will shy away from these things. So yes, we do have Black Panthers, and I believe they do exist here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to believe.
Long
it now.
answer, but I wanted to
I just
get it
showed
out
you
there.
a picture. So
I got a photo of one on my phone.
You know-
Not black, but in halls.
in halls.
In halls.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I did consider, because you have to consider all things. The image that we showed was that AI. Was it created by AI? And I'm like, well, I know the source that the picture came from as far as she giving it to me. I know she didn't do it. And she said her friend does it. And I mean, we're talking about, or does it. I said, does it. Her friend gave it to her and it shot the picture with her camera. And I mean, I don't know how old her friend is, but I know this couple, I mean, they're at least in their upper 60s. I know her husband's 73, I think. So, I mean, the odds are against them fooling around with AI like that, right? I would think, but maybe
It would
not.
be nice to maybe contact the person who actually got the photo. And
I don't know if the person would even care to even talk about it, you know. Right. But she sent it to her. She gave it to me, and I give it to the world. But so we're bringing up the we brought up you and you're in Clinton.
Yeah,
Clinton. Okay, so we have Merkel has a lot of activity. Clinton has activity. We know down south of here, where's the shop at? The pizza shop? Madisonville. Madisonville has a lot of activity. And Kodak has these Black Panthers, or at least one, right? Mm-hmm. But if there's one, there's probably more than one. Your place, I would like to get into. You mentioned about the trackway, the 2 tracks that you got around the stump, right?
Yeah.
This just happened about a day or 2 ago, and when I don't want to admit something's happening, I'm just like, meh, that ain't nothing, and it probably is nothing. But I will tell this. I haven't even told Lindsay this, or Jack or anybody. I think it started actually yesterday. I started driving down my driveway yesterday, and there was I hate to say this, man. I hate to even say this out loud. I really do. All right. Because I know, I just know how this is going to be. All right, here we go. They're you know how you brought up the Apple thing, right? And the idea is what it's gifting. They call it gifting, right? So people will gift things to Bigfoot, and they say Bigfoot gifts back, right? I don't gift. Okay, I don't gift. I just want to say that up front. I don't gift Bigfoot. I don't gift anything. They can find their own food. But I just turned in my driveway and I started driving down my driveway, and I don't have any pine trees on my driveway. And there was a big pine cone, like that big, sitting on its end in the middle of my driveway. And I was like, well, if I was a Bigfooter, I'd say that's a gift. and I just didn't think about it. I just drove away and I drove over to my house. And then I left. And I'm driving up the driveway and it's still sitting there. And I was like, hang on a second. I don't have any pine cones. I don't have any pine trees. And I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do. But I started thinking like, I'm going to pray a barrier over my property again, you know, because I do that. And I don't know. I just something, because I don't think like that. I don't think like that usually. I usually don't even consider that as a possibility. But for whatever reason, I just can't shake the idea that I don't know where that pine cone came from and why is it sitting on its end like it was placed there. And I know these Bigfooters, they talk about the pine cone and being gifts and stuff. And I don't like pine cones, Bigfoot. So I'm just telling you straight up, I don't like pine cones. You can keep your gifts. Not a fan of them. I don't like them. But yeah, so you talking about the Apple brought that up in my mind, and I figured, okay, let's just share it and get it.
I have a huge question.
I don't have answers.
For
I
Matt,
don't have answers.
Yes, sir.
I want to know. I want to know, with everything that you heard from him. I've seen your eyes light up just the same as mine. What are you thinking about that pine cone?
Sitting on its end, that's different.
I should have took a picture.
But
Might
the
be
fact
still
that you're relatively certain you don't have pines around.
I think so. I'm going to analyze.
Do you have
closer.
a dog? that
Yeah,
run-
but he
runs around a little bit.
He's not allowed down there. He has a fence. He can't get down there.
Okay. I can't imagine anything. I mean, when I think of a pine cone, maybe laying on its end, maybe gets blown around. But if you said it was a big pine cone, would have took a heck of a storm to get it where it's at.
Yeah.
Plus, sitting on its end, that's one of those. That's like dropping a dime on the table and it landing on its end. That's
Yes.
very improbable.
Yeah. Now, just so the audience knows, the camera's gonna be on Matt for a few minutes here. Oh, Jack's back. Okay, because he had to walk out real quick. Are my kids okay? Okay. Oh, they're gone. Okay, cool. Not in a bad way though, right? Somebody took them. Lindsay took them, right? Okay. You think or you know? You don't know. Oh, Jay. Okay.
So
I'm a little nervous, but go ahead and okay. My kids were in the other room. Are we sure? Let me see if Lindsay texts me. All right, continue this conversation. I'm going to just text my wife.
So, big question. Matt is there, and I'm not convinced of something that you have said to me that
It's completely natural and it's not normal, right?
No,
You know, it's
you're
perfectly
gonna see
fine,
what
right?
you're going to see what I'm
Gosh,
talking. So,
Martin.
question to you now, because Matt and I's eyebrows are up. You have camera on your chickens? Complete camera. I mean, you won't miss anything from your camera.
I don't like where this is going.
The pine cone is payment for your chickens.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
I was thinking
Martin.
that earlier. Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
That's,
I'm not enjoying this conversation.
The pine cone is payment because I've seen and heard, and Matt was thinking it too. But the pine cone is payment.
No, it's impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
Not considering they're invisible to begin with many times over, and that pine cone's a payment for something.
What's frustrating with this line of thinking and what you just presented is, I have a camera for my chickens that I hadn't put up yet.
And how many chickens have total? Just a guess.
What do you mean?
Because I've been talking to you for a very long time.
All right,
over
so
the years.
I had
how
like,
many chickens? I mean,
I had
we
nearly
go
30.
way back.
I had nearly 30 at one point. my flock, because of what's going on in my life, I let the flock dwindle as it dwindled, and I got down to my buddy the rooster and one hen, and I was planning on restocking soon. That's why my pastor texted me about the hens. And then this past Saturday we were out of town taking the kids to an event, and we came home, and both my chickens were in the coop, but they were dead. And so Bigfoot didn't do that.
Was there did you see damage around the fence? Did you see anything messing with the cage? What kind of latch did you have on it?
I just have a normal twist handle lock.
Okay.
It locks.
Raccoons have thumbs, but they're probably not tall enough to do that.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that it maybe came in before it got dark, which I did find odd, because why are we turning this about Bigfoot on my property? This is not happening, guys.
What happened was we were talking off camera before we got going today, and Matt, I don't think Matt had come in yet, but you had told me about your chickens, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and the only thing that you've never been able to convince me of, because I've listened to you for years, I'm like, okay, maybe Rocky the raccoon may not be the only visitor to Tony's house.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I don't think. I'm just checking my text message, and my wife has not texted me back yet, so I'm just getting nervous, but I'm sure the kids are fine. Oh, she just read it, so we'll be good. I'm sure it's gonna be good. She's texting. We're gonna do this live on air, because I can't think of anything else right now until the kids are safe.
Priorities.
Yes, just got home. Perfect. Kids are safe. Lindsay's got them. Yes.
Awesome.
That means
Didn't you start, like, when you got your new coop, you had more than 2 chickens though?
yeah, I had 4.
And they've all gone missing or been, taken care of?
Yeah, we're like the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Same year my son had his encounter in Roane County. One of our neighbors down the road a little ways, we heard about him because the neighbor's friend was a friend of my son. They kept a turkey as a pet, and they would put him in a cage every night up off the ground, kind of like for a rabbit cage kind of thing, and it had a latch on it. Well, they came out one morning, the latch and the door were open, and there was no turkey. The turkey was gone for 3 days. They're figuring, okay, maybe a raccoon or something made its way into the cage and got it and took it. It returned 3 days later, laying by their mailbox with its breast ripped out.
Whoa.
And if you could imagine, if that was a real predator,
What in the world?
there wouldn't be anything left but feathers somewhere out in the woods. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe a predator would bring the turkey back dead and damaged and lay it by a mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that was the same summer. And there was more than one sighting in the community, but same place, a mile down the road.
Let's get the conversation off me. and
I'm sorry. Brother.
No, you're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're fine. I'm convinced it's raccoon still.
Okay, it was definitely Rocky the raccoon. I'm with you.
It
Or
was.
possum.
Or possum. That's right.
I listen. I even shot at a raccoon on Sunday, and maybe it was, according to you guys, unjust because he had nothing to do with this. But I think Rocky.
And that's why he left the pine cone for you.
Yeah,
You shot at him and he felt bad. See?
He was trying to strike a peace accord with you.
I regret this pine cone story. So let's talk about your son, though, because I know this was I don't know if you were into these topics beforehand, but I know your son had a dramatic experience that I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think that like he's has after effects.
Yeah, he has some issues.
Yeah. So I don't know how deep you want to go into things. So I
We'll
would
lightly tread.
Yeah, lightly tread. But
Yeah.
I mean, your son had an experience. Tell us about what happened that started you off this path.
Yeah, this is it. This is the catalyst. Absolutely.
And did this happen in Clinton?
It happened in Roane County.
Roane
down
County.
below Oliver Springs. That's
Okay.
where I spent the last few years of my teenage years, and then I met my wife in that area, and it just goes on like that. Living in a property down there, right along the Walden's Ridge, and which goes from, good grief, all the way up into Kentucky down to Alabama. So it's part of of course, it's the foothill area of Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
And we were putting in a hot tub behind the house, and I had gotten a truckload of sand. 15-year-old kid, summertime, he's not going to do nothing in the day. He's asleep. He plays video games all night. So I told him, I said, son, I don't care when you do this, just get it done. He decides to do that overnight. 2 or 3 in the morning, he's out there shoveling sand out of my old truck. And he's making a racket, but of course I didn't hear it. I was sound asleep. And he said something approached him. And, a few more odds and ends took place, but something approached him and stood behind one of our bird feeders and watched him. He picked up the shovel and started walking toward it, thinking that perhaps, possibly, it was one of his friends wanting to scare him up. It turned and it jogged, is the best way he could say it. He even said loped, just a real slow jog kind of thing. And it ran under our security light, and that's when he saw it was covered with black hair.
Whoa.
And he said it ran kindly hunched over, and he said the hair was long, black, and flowing. He said it was beautiful.
Wow.
And as its arm would raise when it would run, he could see gray skin under the arm. And it's just real pretty. He said, that's all I can say. It's a real manly, structured, not fat, not looking ugly. I mean, he said probably the face would probably have scared him to death. He never saw the face. And it ran around, you'd have to understand the property, ran around our dog lot down to the front of the house, down into the road. And when it ran into the road, he distinctly heard 4 heavy footfalls on the asphalt, bare feet. And he said it sounded like somebody was running around the swimming pool, a concrete pool, how kids will run around and slop, flop, flop. And then after it left the road again, about 45 feet away, it went up into another driveway and walked up behind another house and went into a pine thicket. And that's the last he saw of it. And he actually followed it to the road and watched it as it went. So what is 45 feet with 4 steps? That's what, a 9-foot gate?
Jeez.
Something to that effect. And that's huge.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't see any evidence of it when he told me about it. I thought he was lying to me. Of course, he's a 15-year-old kid. He's going to pick on Dad. He's going to.
And you didn't think about these topics before that?
I had always had an interest.
Okay.
I always had an interest when Peter Graves, The Mysterious Monsters. I was a kid, and that just,
Great show.
Yeah, that just that really got a hold of me. But I never lived my life thinking about this stuff. It was just okay. Bigfoot, maybe out in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
They're not in Tennessee.
Gotcha.
Maybe
So
there's a skunk,
that was your level.
Yeah, there was a
Gotcha.
skunk ape in Florida I'd heard about, and that was about it. So after that, I just got into it.
Yeah.
And I can't get away from it. And the same summer, I don't know if you know this, I had an experience of mind speak.
Really?
Yeah. It
Same
was,
area?
In my home, in my bed, but from where my son had the encounter.
Wow.
So that whole summer, there were things going on in that community. So I'm laying in bed one night. I'm almost asleep. And I can't say this 100%. I really can't, because it could have been my imagination and what was going on at the time and my looking into the situation and what Bigfoot is and where it's from and all that. That had just started. So it is a possibility that what I encountered, what I experienced, was in my head. So I'll say that first off. But I'm laying there almost asleep, and I get this vision in my head of 2 large black eyes surrounded by hair. And then around the hair was kind of like a fog. And it said 3 words to me: I am here. And that was it. And it was very unnerving. It wasn't scary, but it was intrusive, if that makes any sense. It's like, you got no business in my head. And I think, looking back on it now, I think it wanted me to come outside. But I was too afraid to do so. And, when that happened, I started thinking about it constantly. I can't get it out of my head. It's there. And I've heard some people say that once they speak to you in one way or the other, you're tied to them.
Yes, you are.
You
are.
There's no way around it. Whether for better or worse, they will always be here in your mind. They won't go away. So what that means exactly, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, paranormally, I don't know.
So do you feel like after that experience that you had, you've had other following encounters that respond from that?
I don't think so. No, I've never seen Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
The same summer that I had the Mind Speak incident, I did hear the classic whistle from the other side of the road in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I had several neighbors tell me that they saw this, they heard that, all the summer long. There were 2 houses being built that summer next door to me. A lot of beating, hammering, banging, noise. And my personal thought is it's traveling Walden's Ridge north-south, and it hears all this beating and banging, and it wants to know what's going on. Its curiosity got to it, and it came down off the mountain, and it stayed there a while.
So you feel like when that happens, though, you mentioned about it being connected to you, right? Like, are you connected to it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for very generic terminology, let's say you're connected to the phenomena. Did you ever, after that, have you ever had any experiences outside of Bigfoot that could be, like, if you want to go, like, super woo-woo, supernatural, Tony route, like I promise you, I'm willing to go more woo-woo than you. So you're not going to,
Don't
like,
be so sure.
Yeah. Can I just, like, because I was just researching like alien abduction stuff, and it was like 67% of abductions actually have ghost encounters, orbs, and all these other paranormal aspects that tie into just an abduction thing. So, I mean, is that something similar?
No, I
No?
have not experienced anything like that since. That's the only time I ever had that kind of experience. And
have you had any other supernatural experience? Have you ever experienced a haunting?
No.
Anything? No.
when I was younger, there were some things that happened when I was a kid that may or may not have been. I was squirrel hunting one time when I was a young teenager. Went into a certain area and it was so dead quiet. It was like I walked into a vacuum. Something was watching me.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. And by not hearing anything, I heard nothing. Nothing was in the woods. And I backed out with my 12 gauge and walked away. I knew that's something I needed to do. And then there was another time, I've had a few crazy dreams when I was a kid. I felt like there was a hand rubbing my face. And then when I went to stop, I heard this crazy witchy top laugh. But that's it. That's it. That's as far as it goes, as far as supernatural. And the guys at work make fun of me because I'm looking for stuff and I can't find it, and it's right in front of me. So you'll never find Bigfoot. You can't find the 4-wheeler or 2-wheeler or whatever it is that I'm looking for. And it's just, yeah, I agree.
So there is something. This might be a little sidetrack that we go a little bit here, but I can't help but bring it up. So you brought up this dream that you had as a kid, and when you try to brush it away, you hear that witchy laugh, right?
Yeah.
One, I'll say, not too long ago, I had a dream, and I would say this was I don't want to say it was a lucid dream, but it's definitely not a normal dream.
Yeah.
It felt extremely real. I was laying in my bed. Everything that was happening in my dream was actually happening in this realm of reality. I was laying in my bed, I was sleeping with my wife, I was laying on my right side facing her. Everything was in the dream the same way here, except for unless it actually did happen here and I just didn't see it. In my dream, I had this. I go from sleeping next to my wife to almost like I was taken out of my body in my dream, and I can see my whole body, and my back's facing the edge of the bed. And there's this cloaked figure, like cloaked as in like a hooded figure, standing there with these like arms coming out of the cloak, and it's wadding a ball of hair over me. And I had it's. I mean, I'm assuming at this point, it's just going to be a constant thing where there will be human agents, witches that have nefarious intentions towards me. But the idea of druids, hooded, cloaked people, witches, coming, I don't want to say coming after me because that sounds almost too like 1980s action movie. But like, taunting me or whatever, coming, whatever. That is something that has been part of my journey. And that was just another piece of that. Now, I bring that up because of what you said. I tend to think that there is something that happens with dreams And when we go to sleep, that I do 100% believe that sometimes we're just dreaming. Our brain is just going. But I think that something happens in dreams where if, say we're sleeping and we're walking down this tunnel of dream, you come to, whether it's a literal decision in the road or what, but if you make a left, you continue dreaming. If you make a right, though, now you're exiting your dream realm and you're going somewhere else. Not back here, though. And I just got a text message the other day from a friend of ours, Wesley, and he hasn't had a seizure since like 2020, and he had a seizure in the back of a truck that he's working, and I guess his seizures are spawned by just like different things. They're not totally sure, but like I think he said he jammed his thumb and it caused the seizure, and he said that when I have it in a text, I'd have to find it though, but like he said, when he had his seizure, he heard like a crowd of people yelling and screaming, almost like this is probably my words, not his, but like almost like torment, and he heard it on the way back, like when he was coming back from like waking up from his seizure. And you saying that you in your dream you bat your hand, and as you're waking up you hear the witch cackling. I think there's a transition point where your brain consciously can remember something that you're experiencing somewhere else, but you only remember pieces of it, right? And we should probably get back to Bigfoot now. So
Yeah, we're going way deep.
This is quite incredible, though. I'm listening to all this.
Do you have any weird dream stories, Martin?
Oh, I won't even bother. Since the '93 encounter, incredible dreams, and the only thing I can do is religiously I pray very hard.
Yeah.
And because I have some horrid dreams, just like what you are. I was so interested in listening to what Matt and you said. I've got the bad dreams.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you'd.
I've got the dreams.
If I had an experience like you, I'd have terrible dreams as well. I mean, I may not go to sleep ever again because I mean, I told my son, when we got out of the truck when we were coming in here, I said just briefly about who was here, and I said that you in '93 saw a Dogman. I just kind of left it at that, and I think about your experience. And your experience was in the LBL, Tennessee side, right? Or was it Kentucky side?
Right on the edge.
Right on
it was
the edge.
on the Tennessee side. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your experience in '93 with the Dogman, I don't know, because I know you told me beforehand about kind of like the rules you set up with your children after that experience about their navigating the woods.
Yes.
What would your I don't know, like just think about, what if you weren't there with a hunting partner, but you were there with your son? Like, do you think the whole scene would have played out differently because you actually have your son there to protect and not just another man with you?
I have relived that many times because my son and I would hunt in another location as he was growing up. We would hunt at Cheatham Wildlife Management Area, and then we had an encounter that I basically snatched him up, and he was quite young, and I snatched him up, and we left the area, and I actually left behind a ground blind. And he couldn't understand what I'd done, but I had seen something in the woods, and he was within 50 yards of me. And so I made a decision that because he's with me, I'm going to get him out of the woods and protect him. But that would be any father's nightmare with what you went through, Matt, with your son, and it's right there, and then the things that you and I have spoke about. But I mean, that would be an incredible father's nightmare right there with your children.
Yeah, because I mean, when you came in here, you asked my son something about going out in the woods with Dad, and I said, nope, we don't do that yet, because like I think about that stuff, and it's honestly, I mean, I don't want to be in a position where he. I would feel incredibly guilty because like I know what's out there, and I know specifically this area. So like if we're talking about going in the woods, I got the mountains right here. I'm going to go to the mountains with my son, and I know what's out there. I know what Scott Carpenter filmed several times in these mountains. I've been to the location where the portal bubble opened up and that entity started manifesting. I know where that's at. And if I'm in these woods where that happens and it happens to my son, and I could have prevented it by not acting like an idiot and just taking him out into the woods when I know what's out there. Like, I don't know if I'd ever be able to forgive myself for that.
You wouldn't be able to live with that, and you're a very educated man, and you have to go back to Father's Day of 1969, if I've got that correct, when Dennis Martin disappeared. Was it
Father's
Day? A few
Day?
miles. It was on Father's Day.
Wow.
They would make their annual pilgrimage every Father's Day weekend, and whenever it failed, and they would go up into the Smokies into Spence Field. And so I'm not saying anything trying to make it worse, but I mean, look at Matt. His son is outside and he's working, and it's an incredible time of night or morning, and you're in bed and you can't hear really. And the same thing for me or any other hunter, that you just turn your back for a moment. And you have your son or your sibling. A lot of hunters will hunt with their brothers or their uncles, and it's father's worst nightmare.
It really is. And I'm sitting here thinking, how soft am I? Like, how soft are we that we say we're terrified, yet again, the Cherokee lived in these woods with their kids. Like, they're just like, no, this is just what we deal with,
Sure.
It's because,
even the Cherokee taught their children not to be out at a certain time and not to whistle in the woods. Yeah. And you go back to the Nunnahay, and you go back to all the stories of children being let off into the woods and never found again. So even the Cherokee armed their children up and taught them what to do, the things that they could go, the places and areas that they were to stay away from that belonged to the sloping giant or the hairy man.
Yeah. I made the image behind us specifically with this witch here. And I think that's on there. Yep, it's on there. And I don't know what the spear finger witch looks like, but I gave her spear fingers because...
That looks awful close to me, as close as I ever want to see Spearfinger. Yeah, that's enough for me.
But she's a Cherokee legend.
Yes.
And actually, I don't know the specific landmarks, but I know Maryville, this specific area, is a landing spot for her of what she roams theoretically back and forth. So it's like, I think, from what I remember, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to say it anyways. I think as far as I can remember, Spearfinger travels the mountain range up to here, but goes all the way far south as like the Georgia border, I think it is. But there's this entity that the Cherokee talked about, and it's I just not a good guy. I don't want to run into the Spearfinger.
No. Even that, with the things I've seen in the woods, even as much as January the 17th when we had an encounter. But when I look at that, Dogman, Bigfoot, I don't want nothing to do with Miss Spearfinger at all.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that scares me worse.
Right? But I mean, like, Miss Spearfinger. I mean, it's probably Lilith. It probably is an archetype of Lilith. I mean, so Lilith has been the theory that I choose to believe the most is Bo from the Bump podcast believes that Lilith has a territorial reign over Appalachia. And he's dealt with Lilith personally in a very intimate way. I mean, Lilith has gotten a hold of his daughter. His daughter will not talk to him anymore. I think I'm pretty sure his daughter went down the route of worshiping Lilith. And when you start diving into Appalachia lore, these mountains up into West Virginia, you see signs of Lilith throughout the culture. And my buddy Ward Heine, he has a docu-series called Dark Holler, and it documents a family's journey through this idea. And it all started with the one girl in the family. She was a witch, and she became a Christian, and she went to the river to get baptized by the pastor, who is a friend of mine and Ward's. This is before Ward ever did a documentary. The pastor did. I don't even know if the pastor, Josh Robinson, if he ever even like believed in demonic possession, but he calls Ward after the baptism. Thank you. I wanted to say exorcism, and says, I think I might have been involved in an exorcism, and when that girl went down, something came out of her, and so Ward goes down to document, and he thought it'd be like a 15-minute video that he was making because he's very talented. He used to work for Glenn Beck at the Blaze. He goes down, and it just turns into this 6-episode docuseries where he started documenting the family's journey. And, you know, not all signs, but signs do point back to Lilith and Lilith being entrenched in that area. And I think that that's just one family story of probably many people who are dealing with entities that trace back to Lilith, an archetype of Lilith. I can tell you, when I moved here, Lilith was not on the radar for me when I moved here. This is 4 years ago. I don't even know if I talked about Lilith on the show to that point. And one of the images that Lilith will portray herself as is a woman dressed in white, long black hair, which we hear about that and we see it a lot in horror movies, like The Ring and was it Grudge? Is that what the movie was? Grudge. Mm-hmm. That's a Lilith type. Well, we're here. We just moved into the house. It's a new house, which was crazy back then. If the market, I was getting outbid on. I would put a bid on the house, and somebody would outbid me by $100,000. I'm like, this is crazy. And somehow I bought this house for $5,000 less than what it appraised at. Now I know why. but it was
Ricky.
yeah. Get the pine cone off my driveway, man. But so it was in the middle. It was almost being done. It was being built, and we move in, and Lindsay's known to have these like lucid dreams. And she had this dream where she walked across the house into my daughter's bedroom. And she said, if I remember correctly, everything was set up the same in my daughter's bedroom, except for maybe like the bookshelf was on the other side of the room. But everything was, and that's typical with lucid dreams. Lucid dreams, you walk in and you recognize a place. It's identical. You feel like you're actually there. It's more real than real. But there's little things that are a little different. So she walks in my daughter's room, and there is a woman in a white gown, long hair, like a ghouly, like a hag almost, standing over my daughter's bed. And so like, was that Lilith? I don't know. But the way she described it sounds like it. And the more I've talked about Lilith and understood what is in this area as far as a very dark old principality, the more I think maybe it was Lilith, you know, and I don't know why she had that experience. I can tell you that after that, my daughter had a very radical experience in her bedroom that I wouldn't want to tie it to Lilith because I know what it came from. We were under some really heavy spiritual warfare, dark attack that week. Off of an episode that we released, but something manifested in my daughter's bedroom. I was on the other side of the wall when it happened. I heard my daughter whimpering. I was in the room minutes after it happened, and what she described, I don't understand I literally to this day don't understand what she saw, and I dare not bring it up to her to remind her of what she saw. Maybe when she's older, if she remembers, she can describe it to me better. But something was standing in the corner of her room, and
I'm almost in tears listening to this.
Yeah,
almost in tears, man.
I hate telling. I don't know why I started telling this story.
It needs to be told because there are other people who are listening to you right now that are having some of the same attacks in their home, and they need to know as well.
Martin, this is my job, man.
Yeah.
He's doing
You're a
good.
good
I'm,
man.
I'm supposed to be coaching people up that way.
Straight up, real quick. Well, not real quick. My son's issues. Sometimes I believe they are because of what I do.
Mm.
He had the experience. He's dealing with that experience. But my continuation in the experience allows that to continue.
Mm.
I had a member whose daughter was killed in a car wreck. She was told she needs to get away from this because this is what caused it. I know several people, you know several people, who have lost children for whatever reason because they're into this. Well, that's kind of like you put two and two together. I know you're having issues at home. And I don't want to seem rude or crude or crass, but when I heard about the situation in your home with your wife, that's the first thing I thought. It's attack. It's spiritual attack.
Yeah, spiritual warfare for sure.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that she's ill. I mean, people get ill, people have problems, but this is different.
Yeah.
There's a specific reason these things happen to people. It's because we're digging into things that they don't want us digging into.
Yeah, the period when my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer, like that was I'm literally I was at the, I mean, I guess throughout time I would say I'm still in the beginning stages, but I was like literally in the beginning stages of stepping into ministry, literally in the beginning stages of starting to preach. Literally doing things that was me going absolutely on the offensive to the kingdom of darkness. Like I was in a mindset, and I still am, where I was like, I am 100% convinced that this stuff is real, and because it's real, I'm not going to be quiet about it, and I'm going to point people back to the cross, and that is like the absolute strongest weapon I could have. And it's literally just fulfilling the Great Commission of what Christ called us to do. Yeah. And so when that happens, you know, she gets diagnosed with cancer. I don't even think it's like a week later, my dad has a heart attack. And like, there's like just this stuff that I started seeing a pattern where it was like, because I don't really waver on my commitment to, this is my interpretation, I could be wrong, but because I don't waver on my commitment to sharing this stuff, this truth of the supernatural realm, whether it is Bigfoot, Dogman, not sold that Black Panthers are supernatural, but maybe convince me.
Maybe.
You know? But to the supernatural witches, beings, all that stuff. I know it puts a target on your back, but what else are you supposed to do? Keep your mouth shut? You know what I mean? Like,
you have a platform that is huge.
Yeah.
Somebody like me, I talk to my friends about this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit and talk to Martin about this stuff. I'm not a big threat. This is a threat. This is threatening those that are out there.
You're a threat to this principality. Think of the people that you have led to Christ. I was weak in my spiritual where I stood until I came and started to listen to you, and I was almost ready to quit in 23 and 24.
Wow.
But I began to listen to you, and I knew this platform was so important that you lead others and talk and educate other people, that I knew where you were headed, per se, if you don't mind me saying that. But you are such an important figure that they have come against you to attack you, to silence you, and to stop your program and to stop you personally.
I mean,
you're a very important man.
I didn't know that. I thank you for sharing that, because I didn't know that the show had that kind of an impact on you.
Your show had a huge impact. I would not be here if it was not for you, period.
Wow.
First time I met you, I looked in your eyes when I told you what I told you, and I said, this guy thinks I'm crazy. Because this is what I said. I said, Tony, I started praying to God because I have done this for so long, the Bigfoot thing. I said, God, I want to see. I want to see. And I would say that every day. And then one day I turned on the confessionals and blurry creatures. I didn't see Bigfoot, but I see. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see the darkness that you're fighting against, that I see every day. I see what happens. I got a little job working weekends with the public. I see darkness cross my path every day. A lot of people are happy, they have joy, they have peace, but sometimes they come in, they have that look in their eye. I mean, they might be looking for answers, and then again, there may be something looking out from behind those eyes that none of us in here could deal with. So, I mean, it's the fact that God sends you what we need, and he sent the confessionals. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke. And it just happened because I wasn't looking to hear things about spiritual warfare. I was looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah. And I mean, you said God send, and it's like literally that right there is the root of what I do, which is why I operate in a way that I do. I don't really walk around in fear. I mean, I can't say I haven't been nervous at times, but I don't walk around in fear because I 100% know and am convinced that the only reason why this show exists is because literally God called me to do it. Like people say, oh man, you're hearing voices. Say whatever you want. I didn't audibly hear a voice. Like when you spend time with God, like you learn to hear his voice. And I heard the voice of God driving a tractor trailer and told me that I was going to start a podcast and told me that I was going to work with Wes Germer from Sasquatch Chronicles, who was not my friend. I had never talked to before. I had listened to his podcast, but I didn't know the man. And I was a truck driver, and that's all I wanted to be. That's what I did. My dad's a truck driver. I'm going to be a truck driver. And on weekends, I'm going to complain about truck driving. That's what I, Yeah. And a month later goes by, and I back my trailer into the dock at work. It's like 8 something at night. I'm getting ready to go home, and my Facebook Messenger starts ringing, and it's Wes Germer from Sasquatch Chronicles. Calls me out of the blue. I still, to this day, don't totally understand why he called me. I assume he saw my Facebook group. I had a Facebook group called, what was it called? Pennsylvania Sasquatch Research. And that was my early attempt at trying to find other people who know about Bigfoot that I could learn from, and turned into a group where they were asking me questions like, I don't freaking know. I don't know. But I can only imagine that's where he found me. In our first conversation, he's telling me, hey, I think you'd be a good podcaster. And for me, that was confirmation of what the Lord spoke to me a month before. And anybody could ask Lindsay. Lindsay remembers the night that I came home and told her what I felt God telling me, because I was in the habit of telling her, if God's speaking to me, I tell my wife so that she's my witness for when it happens. I mean, at the very root of this show, it was a calling that I deeply believed in and knew that it was going to happen. And the more time went on, the more I treated it like I do now, where it's like, this is the battlefield I'm on, and I just a few weeks ago, I think I told these guys this. I haven't said this publicly because it's not really something to boast about, but since we're in this conversation, and Martin, you mentioning about how the show has impacted you personally.
Impacted me, yes.
I mean, you get emails over the years from people. There's a running folder that I haven't checked it recently, but I'm assuming it's still there, where Lindsay and the other people would put really kind emails that I get, so that if I ever need encouragement, I could just dive into that folder and read some emails. A lot of them are people who are saying, like, because of the show, they rededicated their life to Christ, or they came in their relationship with Christ. Yes. And just recently, a few weeks ago, I got a DM from a guy, and I don't check my DMs a lot, but I checked this one, and I forget all the details, but he said that he's Muslim, and he, I forget the family story, but he's Muslim. And he said, from listening to my show, he's now reconsidering if he's, I guess, in the right faith. And he's looking into Christianity and who Christ is. And so I just told him, I sent him a voice memo, because that really impacted me a lot. Because I'm like, how is this podcast reaching people in a way where like that, you know? And I just told him, I said, listen, man, don't listen to me. Don't listen to the pastors online. Don't listen to the people at your mosque. If you're seeking this truth and on this journey, I said, just go to the Bible, get a Bible, open it up to the book of John. I always recommend people to start in John. And I just told him, I said, before you start reading it, just whether you believe there's anybody listening or not, you believe in Allah, just pray that God, if this is truth, reveal yourself to me as I read this. And you start reading the book of John, it might be a little bit of a setup because in the very first chapter, it says in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Mm-hmm. Like it's talking about Jesus being literally the words that you're reading. Mm-hmm. But I told him, I said, just ask the Holy Spirit to reveal himself to you and then just start reading. I don't need to do anything from there. Nobody else does either. That's now you're God's problem. And he'll take care of the rest, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that all that starts from the podcast.
I want to tell you something, and I want the listeners to hear you.
This is supposed to be a hotspot show.
I want you to know this publicly. No matter what films, no matter what documentaries, over 200 podcasts of people that I didn't even appear. All these people and Monster Quest, no matter where I have appeared, I want you to know that the people search me out because for typical response, Mr. Groves, I saw you on the confessionals with Tony Merkel. I want you to know, and I've had this more than one time, I want you to know that I was non-Christian. I was dealing with entities. I was dealing with Dogman, but I was suicidal, overdosed, this, that. The story repeats over and over. To this very week, one day before I come to see you, one day, a gentleman contacted me out of California and stated to me, Mr. Groves, I just now found you, and it was via Tony Merkel. Wow. And I've been listening to Tony Merkel. I cannot turn my YouTube channel off. I can't stop watching. My point is this. You have reached millions. You look at the views, just what you got on just this one little fat guy right here. Look, go back and look at the million, and it's millions. But the message is clear. Christ is the answer. And you're the ones that are leading them and making them think and giving them another idea that Christ is the answer. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think this, whatever field we're in, I don't even know what to call this, you know, because I don't call my show a paranormal show. I call it more of a supernatural show. But I just feel like traditionally, people who deal with this stuff, the hauntings, the torment, seeing cryptids, like there's not traditionally up till, you know, last 10 years or so, there hasn't been a group of people. I'm not even saying I'm a group of people, but just there hasn't been, they haven't been focused on, you know, like it's just like, that's weird. You're weird. And there's no consideration that maybe somebody's going through a spiritual attack. And the more I've done the show, the more I started, the line just started blurring for me. And I'm like, I think a lot of this is connected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, very much so.
I'm going to try to bring this back into the topical conversation because I don't want to make the rest of this live about the show and all that. I'll finish my story and then we'll go from there, I guess. Okay. Just so people understand, because we kind of dropped off there, the attack on my daughter, right? One, I say it's warfare. Like that's the way I approach my life now. Yes. Like, I mean, when you're in war, bad things can happen, you know? And so I only engage in warfare because I know the one that put me on the battlefield. Yeah. My daughter, she says she saw something. I'll just leave it at that because I don't have a clear picture as to exactly what she saw. I'm not going to prod her. something was standing in the corner of her room at the very moment that really bad things were happening in my life, like to the second attacks. And she said it stretched across her bedroom, is what I understand it to be. In my mind, it didn't move. It stretched across the bedroom to her. She said like a straw. And she said, and it was, you know, she's 5. And when it happened, I think she was 3.
Mm.
So her verbiage is, you know, going to be, and she said it spoke to her. And that's the thing that made me mad.
Mm.
Like the whole thing makes me mad, but like that set me off. Because she said, it said, what's your name? And I was like, to me, that felt like the enemy was putting a mark on my daughter. And it's like, you know, it was like a leveling up of the attack, right? And since then, she hasn't had any experiences or bad things happen. But I can tell you that was a marking point where there's been so many transition periods in my show and my life because of the show. But that was very much a transitional point where, like, that's on the level of Lindsay getting diagnosed with cancer. Like, the gloves came off, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna go hard. And I, the next day, I just sent Lindsay out of the house with Gemma, and I went through that house. I mean, I prayed all over that house. I always say that the house was dripping in oil. It was very oily. No diddy. Bad joke? Is that a bad joke, Jack? No? Okay. Jack shook his head no. I don't know if that was in disapproval. But I prayed a lot over the house. I anointed it. And that was the beginning stages of me just really another level of purposeful prayer, you know? Like, it was like, you go from praying to like praying with very, at the time, odd specifics, you know? And now it's just natural. Like, I didn't do this beforehand, but now I do. When I'm praying, I'm literally inviting God's angels into my home. You know, like, if you want to say the enemy's legalistic, then I got to approach the same way with the heavenly armies as well. Mm-hmm. And so I just want it to be known that you are welcome in my house to protect me and my family from any harm. Mm-hmm. And I constantly pray that. And I after I invite them in my home, I also suggest, like, you can also stay outside the home and border my property so nothing can cross my property lines. But if they do, you're in here too, you know? Mm-hmm. And I when I say I invite the angels, I'm not praying to angels. I pray to the Lord to send his angels. I'm kind of very particular on some of that stuff. I don't pray to angels. I pray to God. I think there's a reason why you see angels, and the imagery in the Bible, they ascend to heaven and then they descend. And I think they take our prayers to the Father, and then he gives the permissions, and they come back to fulfill his will, not ours. So anyways, should we talk about Bigfoot or something?
Well, interesting correlation though. So if we're talking about like Spearfinger and like you mentioned a white witch, do you remember the Sasquatch Chronicles episode with the 2 brothers? I think they were in Oregon. Yeah. And then they had all these crazy Bigfoot encounters going on, like really like level 10. And then one day they actually see a woman in white running down the field. And was there a correlation directly to Bigfoot with that? Do you remember?
You know, I don't remember if there was a direct correlation, but I think they also had orbs on the property. Okay. So, like, I feel like that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking, like, probably episode 100, 200, something like that. Mm-hmm. I believe that was one of the first, I can't speak for him, but I think that was, like, a transitional point for Wes where he started realizing that there are connections here between Bigfoot and other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the same conclusion the brothers came to the point that they're like, we're not talking about this anymore. Like, yeah, they thought that the white lady that they saw in the daytime was actually like somehow manifesting the Bigfoots to the property, that she was like the witch in control of the activity going on in the house. And so I just like want to throw that back to you. Like, these entities have you guys ever encountered anything where there's like other aspects, other entities involved with Bigfoot in your research and things that you guys have done?
I have not. I mean, you go back to the talking when I was young. A little while after I got married, I know that my wife told me that one of her grandparents died in the home we were living in, and I did have a sleep paralysis and I could almost swear that there was somebody there, but I didn't see anything. But as far as other aspects when it comes to Bigfoot, I have heard stories. Of course, things have been said, and people have told me things, but I haven't myself encountered anything like that.
So many direct correlation of either Spearfinger or the possibility of the lady in white. I won't use the person's name because I don't really feel like I have it is in one of my books, but I'll just tell you that Joe Doyle of Hellbent Holler went face to face with the woman in white in Land Between the Lakes, and there have been other people as well. And what I have seen is a direct correlation with that. It's almost as if the lady in white or the woman in white was directing whatever entity or attack, whether if it be Dogman or Bigfoot, because they're both seen in the same area, as well as I many times spoke of Bigfoot directing the Dogman or werewolf. So yes, I do believe in what you're saying. I believe there's a direct attachment between the woman in white or Spearfinger and these entities, no matter what they are.
I mean, your experience that spawned everything in '93. I mean, in the same experience, you have Dogman, which is heavily focused on by many people, but I don't know. Maybe this is my perspective, but it feels like it often gets glossed over that Bigfoot was there that night as well. Like, I mean, it's part of the story. It's just Dogman was the actionable point of the story. Like, it was crazy what happened, right? But even as you tell the story, it's like Bigfoot was like this almost like side character that just left your head scratching, like, what were you doing here, you know? But it, like, from my perspective, it feels like when you had that encounter in the Land Between the Lakes and you had all this action happening around you, it was like Bigfoot was not just stumbling across the scene.
No.
It arrived with purpose, whatever that purpose was, whether it's just to monitor what was happening, but it was there in conjunction. It was there. They were there together.
Yes.
And it's just like you got the bank robber and the one who drives the car.
Yes.
You know, it's like they're both the robbers, but one is doing the robbing, the other one's doing the escaping in the escape car, right? And I'm not saying Bigfoot is going to carry Dogman away and hop on my back, buddy. But it's just like they arrived together with purpose, and each one had a separate job to do.
Over the years, what I've this long road that I've went down, what I've been educated on by others, not just my own conclusion. The Bigfoot are actually use Dogman or the werewolf as if it is you and I would go quail hunting, and we would have our bird dogs with us.
Yep.
And in so many different investigations, and plus what I've seen, Bigfoot does call and he directs everything per se, like a movie director. And it's pretty scary thoughts when you consider that we have so many missing people in the national parks and recreation areas throughout America, or the scene plays out in the worldwide scene. So I do believe Bigfoot does direct or order these Dogman, or as we spoke off camera, the Anubis, these entities that are always seen around graveyards.
You know, I referenced this at times, and Jack, if you could make a note of this, I have to look this up, and I keep turning this way. Am I really not looking at? Am I doing bad with the camera work today? Okay, I'm sorry.
It's way too late for that.
Yeah,
The look on his face.
Yeah, I'm sitting
the
here
look
like
on
this.
his face then. Yeah,
I'm sitting here like this talking.
You had the look right
that's
then.
bad.
I assure you.
My bad. Oh shoot, I forget what I was going to say. Oh, we had a members episode, and I can never remember 100% the details or even what episode it was, but I remember it was a guy in Canada, and it was 2 episodes I did with him about these dreams that he was having that I don't believe were dreams. Like I was talking about before with you guys, it felt like he was having an experience beyond the dream realm. Like he took a right instead of a left, you know, and he's interacting with an upright standing dog. I believe it was an upright standing dog, and it's talking with him and sharing with him the history of its existence. And the way it was talking to him, it was like it was telling the story of Genesis, the rebellions, the commingling. And I remember telling him, I was like, you realize this sounds like out of scripture, the Bible, Genesis, the Nephilim. And he goes, no, I never thought about that. I was like, how did you not think about that? You know? But I remember it talking about how it warred with other entities. And it's not the only source that I have, but it is something that it's an idea that I do consider strongly. The idea that though there are entities that fallen angels rebelled against God, a third of the angels, that's millions. We're talking about millions of angels rebelled. Within that rebellion, I cannot not believe that there are egos involved and there are warring fractions within that rebellion. And you have one end, like, I don't know, like I imagine in World War II, you're going against the Nazis, but the countries that are going against Nazis, some of them, it's like, okay, I'll put up with you because we got to go get this guy, you know, but like, we're not that great, you know.
The Russians.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's a great example. Thank you. But I mean, I imagine it's similar in the spiritual realm as well with this stuff. And he said this thing was telling him that it warred with another entity that was more like a cat entity. And then there was this great shifting of the land, and the seas came and split them. And the way he was laying it out, I was like, what do we have across the Atlantic Ocean? You have the Middle East, and that's jinn country. And a lot of times they say the jinn will appear as a black panther or a cat entity. Yeah. And I'm like, we got Dogman over here. And I'm thinking to myself, man, was this guy like having an interaction with an ancient entity laying out the history of what happened with its kind, you know? And I just remember doing that story and thinking, there are so many parallels to what I'm talking about, and this guy was not picking it up. Like when I was like, I mean, I'm sure he did once I mentioned it, but like before I brought it up, I just remember him saying, it was a pause, and he goes, you know, I never thought about that. I was like, whoa, okay. Do you recall that episode? 626. What was it called? Cryptid. Oh, you did. Okay, so the people know and I don't. But Cryptid Wars and Cosmic Revelations. Make sure you like. I gotta remember to pull that episode. I gotta go over that again, both of them, because it was 2-parter, right? Jack said, yeah, 2-parter. So I gotta go over that episode again because I feel like there's nuggets in there that I don't even get yet.
Yeah,
you know,
you always go back. Yes.
Yeah, and that's one thing with like what we do here within this house of Merkel Media and the Confessionals. It's like, dude, I got coming up on 900 episodes of work. Like, that's a lot to comb through. And somehow I got to figure out how to start combing through some of the old stuff, because sometimes I'll stumble across an old episode and I'll hear something. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that went right over my head. Now I get it. You know, like this one lady years ago, I talked to her and she just real briefly, I mean, I'm talking, she glossed over it about how, like, she's talking about her abduction situation, and she said on the front lawn was a UFO that looked like an egg, and it was sitting on like these legs, but the shape of it looked like an egg. And I was like, huh, all right, so tell me about the entities. And I'm just going, totally didn't even consider the shape of it. And now, like, the egg-shaped UFO, one is part of disclosure now. It's the Jake Barber stuff, right? And how he has that video of the recovery and all that. But even to the occultic side of it, the Amalancha workings and the fact that Lamb, the entity that looks like an alien, came out of a shape of an egg, a form of an egg. Now, Many other people like Isaac Weishaupt and Joel Thomas can tell that stuff way more than I can. I'm not an expert in anything, but the fact that the egg shape is associated with the occultic nature of the Amalancha workings that has an entity calling itself Lamb that looks like a gray entity, a gray alien. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not good at math. I'm really not. But 1 + 1, I think, is 2, right? So it's just like things like that just went over my head. And now you look back on it, you're like, man, I should probably just listen to my entire art. I won't, because I hate listening to myself talk. And so that's asking me to just,
It is hard to go back and listen to yourself. I very seldom do it, but unless somebody calls my attention as, hey, you remember what that thing looked like or something,
Yeah.
It's hard to go back and listen to yourself.
Do you guys think that there's like an aspect of this like old witchcraft that kind of maybe like feeds some of these like paranormal activities in this area? Like this mountain witch doctor aspect, like these, because we know that there's like real old occult activity, especially out here by the Smokies and probably all throughout Tennessee.
I can mention this. I watch a lot of YouTube, so I know a lot about nothing. But anyway, you watch these shows that talk about the Appalachian Mountains, and in a scientific realm of things, they say that America broke off from England and all that many, many, many years. I won't say him, but that the Scottish Highlands used to be part of the Appalachian chain. And when the Scottish and Irish came over here to escape the English and all that was going on there, they supposedly brought their spirits with them, their gods. The fairies and some of the leprechauns and all these other things that they had these beliefs in. And that may be part of this whole thing that's going on in the Appalachian Mountains. You speak about the witchcraft aspect of it. When I think of witchcraft, anything and everything that's not Jesus Christ to me is witchcraft. I don't care what they call themselves. But when you go back, you mentioned Druids earlier with this, whatever it was you saw in your experience. The Druids were supposedly this big deal over there in that area, in England and Ireland and Scotland, and there's energy over there that, while I don't believe in the millions and millions of years idea of creation, I believe that there is a time frame for mankind. We started at a particular place, and I'll leave that there because I don't know anything either. But when they came over here, they brought their stuff with them. And that stuff is now part of us. It's in the Appalachians. And even though most people don't believe it anymore, it was still left out in those woods. And it's still doing what it's doing. It's still out there looking for somebody to believe in them, perhaps. I know the Bible talks about false gods. And I've always been taught in church that, and I understand there is only one God. And I understand that completely. But there are these beings who call themselves God. And people worship these beings who call themselves God. And they call them gods. And they're not idols of brass and idols of wood. They are existing beings.
Yeah, they are entities.
They're entities that control nations and control parts of nations, control certain aspects of land and properties. I think I was listening to you when you were talking to the dude that had something to do with Anton LaVey's daughter.
Oh,
do you remember
Pastor
that?
Dave Bryan.
Yeah, and they were traveling through a certain area, and the doors of their vehicle came open, and they were having this battle with this entity that said, "This is my place. You can't be here," because it knew who she was. Now that sounds extremely crazy, but there's all this stuff that you can read and hear about, and that like certain cities. I mean, look at New York City. I mean, there's some evil going on in that town. And it's not necessarily just the people that are living there. They're under the bondage of sin and the enemy. That's what's going on in their lives. But there are things there that are making that happen. And I think it's the same kind of thing here.
You brought up this idea of like people bringing things from faraway lands. And that's something that I've talked about with a lot of traditions, Eastern European traditions, that were brought here, and I think we just talked about this not too long ago on the show about this, because I remember you saying religious freedom, like this was a place of religious freedom, and it was like we're going to bring our religion, and it's like the hexing and all that stuff. That's old German. There was, and I think they were German too. The Moravians, were they German? Do you remember? I think the Moravians were German, but the Moravians. If I remember the timeline right, they stemmed from like eastern Pennsylvania, Bethlehem area, and then they came down to Georgia, I believe, or might have been flipped, but they wind up in the mountains of the Smoky Mountains, North Carolina side, and there's a place called Moravian Falls, and there's a lot of supernatural things that happen at Moravian Falls because of what the Moravians did there. Now, I'm talking like good, theoretically, good things, but the idea was that they did, I believe it was, I want to say it was 100 days of prayer or maybe a year of prayer, but it was nonstop prayer. Somebody was up at the top of this, and you guys were there, so I'd like to hear your perspective. But there was always somebody praying, and the belief is that because then angels started appearing, and portals to heaven, let's call it, opened up, and it became a soft spot, a veil spot, a thin veil location between here and the other side, right? And these angels were appearing. I think miracles were happening, and it was because of human activity, long drawn out, dedicated human activity to a certain cause. Now, this cause was prayer to God, and it weared the veil thin, for lack of better terms. I don't think that maybe, I don't know, but like the veil became thin, and supernatural activity started happening there. So the opposite can happen too, where people who have other practices throughout over an extended period of time create a thin veil location where nefarious things can be popping through. And if this area historically has that attached to it, then what we could be experiencing in this area of East Tennessee, Appalachia area is a result of hundreds of years of practices that brought things in, just like the Moravians did with the angels. What do you have, Derek? Because I know you're itching on something.
No. I was just trying to look. I thought it was 100 years. I thought they like literally prayed
100 something. Right?
Yes, we got a thumbs up from the producer. Yeah. So they prayed like nonstop for 100 years. And then essentially, like in the evangelical side of Christianity, we think that like that opened up a portal that for the angels to ascend and descend. Essentially, we created like a great space for healings and for encounters with the angelic beings. But I agree with you. Like on the opposite side of that, if we're doing all these other rituals and things of that nature, is it creating like these other gateways for these entities to begin to maybe be more seen, be more evident to us in the physical realm? Are we creating the energy necessary for them to basically engage with our dimension more regularly? I mean, I had a personal experience when I moved down to Tennessee. My wife was working at a gym, and she became friends with this one lady. All of a sudden, like over the course of the months, my wife, we started getting in big fights. We started like totally changed. Like her whole demeanor changed. Her theology was changing, her Christian theology. Like everything was going really crazy. And I remember I was just so desperate. I like got on my face and I started praying. And so I prayed, and I was like an hour. I just kept praying and praying and praying and praying. And then the Lord's like, pray against Jezebel. And I was like, okay, I'll pray against Jezebel. So I prayed against Jezebel because I was like reminded of Galatians, like, oh, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you, right? There's a bewitching that can happen, over our minds. So I pray, she comes home from work and she's back to herself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, hallelujah. Like things were starting to mend back. She's like, her personality's back. Like she's like kind of falling away. Like she's understanding the toxic environment she was working in. Well, the next day, we have a dinner, and it was her friend from the gym. So we go to the dinner, and nothing too crazy. We're just having dinner with her and her husband. I end up after dinner, I go sit, and I'm talking to her husband, and we met. I used to be a missionary, with my parents, and we were in South Africa. I randomly met her, blah blah blah, and then he starts making these little like nuanced things. He's like, she's like the most powerful spiritual person I've ever known. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? Because that's not Christian lingo, right? So I start prying. I start asking questions. And of course, listening to this show, like you kind of like know how to like ask the right questions. He ends up admitting to me that she is a priestess of Jezebel and has an altar to Jezebel in the basement where Jezebel physically appears to her, and she's allotted like powers and abilities because of that. And it's just so wild, like how God confirmed all of that literally within 24 hours. And like, again, I'm from like Western New York, like, you know, like there's like witchcraft and there's stuff like that. But like, dude, right? Like, again, like maybe tying in with the show, like
We got witchcraft too.
We got witchcraft too, yeah. But like tying it into the show again, like, you know, like I wasn't on the show yet, but like I felt like God was calling me to be a part of the show. That like I was here to like gird up Tony and to strengthen him for this walk in the spiritual warfare. And so like for the enemy to come at me and just literally throw a priestess of Jezebel directly in my family line and to like crux it all up. But again, like the spiritual energy here, like it ties all of it together. Like there's really dark things right under our noses working against us believers, against all of us. And I think Bigfoot and all that, I think are just they're spiritual little tentacles of the main that are working and infiltrating our realm.
Yeah. I got I've heard this story before, and I'm glad you shared it. I did get sidetracked while he was telling it because I wanted to look up this area and the different principalities that are here. And I brought up Moravian Falls, and it was going to bug me if I didn't bring it up. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this guy on the show. If I did, probably not by name, but his name is Gary Beaton, Beaton, and there's a video of him somewhere on YouTube talking about this, where him and his wife are looking for property in Moravian Falls area because of the spiritual connection that's there, the thin veil or whatever. He said that he was walking around a property with his realtor, and he said they walk and they enter into something, and he said everything changed. Like they clearly crossed a threshold of some kind. You could feel it, and I forget all the details of it, but it's just very apparent. And he says to his realtor something very general. I don't know how much he told his realtor, you know, why he wants to move here, you know? Like I that's not what I would tell my realtor. Like, I'm looking for portals, so I'm looking for property to help me out. But he acknowledges the environment changed, and she said, we just entered a portal. And so like he was like, taken, sold, I'll buy this property, you know? But
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean that's Moravian Falls because of human activity over 100 years of prayer. And I just feel like this area has a lot, and also the more you learn about this area, it feels like this is like a melting pot within a melting pot, you know. And this area has so many different people and lineages from different parts of the world that have different practices that were brought here. And I think that there could be a reason that might be a reason why there's so much diversity of experiences and entities and things in this area. Like if you think about, and maybe it's because I live here, but if you think about like Washington State, if you're thinking cryptids and stuff like that, you're going to think Bigfoot, you know? And yes, I think there's probably other things in Washington State too, but that is like dominant, right? Here, I mean, take your pick. And there's everything here. Like, it's just so much. And it does make you wonder, like, is it tied to human activity and what was happening for hundreds of years here?
Yeah.
You know, and that things that we've lost contact and connection with that we just don't know anymore. Yeah. You know, verbal oral tradition has kind of died off in the last 100 years, you know? So how long has your family line been here? Do you know?
Oh my gosh. I think the first one was in the 1790s.
1790s.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the Seeber
OG.
name is kind of rare. There are only pockets of it in different parts of the country. I think up in western New York, there's a pocket. And then, of course, East Tennessee, mostly Anderson, Roane County. And then I think there may be 2 or 3 more, but it's not a very common name. And like I say, he came from Germany. But his doing the doing the DNA testing, it goes all the way back to the possibility of Viking and Irish descent, and you can imagine how that happened if you can,
yes,
Vikings
history,
hit over to Ireland and they do bad things, and then here we are.
So I've been listening to everybody, and I mean, it's just incredible stories. I mean, everything that all three of you have brought up. But I thought I might add, to bring it to perspective, that this is not just in the past. It wasn't 100 or 200 years ago. Something going on right now today, and just a few miles from us in Pigeon Forge. A very incredible guy, and I know some of you have heard of a gentleman by the name of Todd. And Todd is known on YouTube channel as South Force 10. And he tells the different stories of, because his family has been in the mountains here for many generations. But very recently, he had taken me up into the mountains to one of the areas before you get in the Smokies. And he told me an incredible story of witchcraft and of a family that had spent many generations in an area that I should not mention, but very close to us. And they had
Us as in like
demonic,
right here?
Yes. And they had a very definite demonic spiritual effect from all the way from Maryville all the way into Pigeon Forge and Sevierville. And I'm speaking within the last 10 years. And some of that family is still alive. They still practice. And he also took me to another area where we know that a entire coven of witches live, and they own something like 60 acres. And so we have an entire practicing coven of witches. Now we're talking about right now. And
Like
so,
a compound.
Yes. And so we have all of this into your melting pot, and to what Matt had said about the generations of people coming. And so, yeah, it's right now today. And that's why we're facing such as the Jezebel spirit and Lilith and all this stuff. And it's just very scary.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of to even think that if you think about what is the enemy of Satan more than anything, it's the church. I mean, they're after us.
Yeah.
And how better to really figure that stuff out is to infiltrate. And I've heard all kinds of stories where people figured out that some of the old, wonderful, loving little grandmothers were going home and sitting in or standing in a pentagram with candles around them and praying to
That's
their
why I don't
God.
trust Sister Ann. Sister Ann, I don't trust you. No, I was kidding.
And there's supposedly, and I know this by what I've been told. There's a church in Anderson County that has a two-story building. It's a two-story building, and on the second floor, if you take the rug off the floor, there are scratch marks where a pentagram used to be. At one time, there was a pentagram. Now, whether kids broke in there and did that for meanness, or if there was actually something going on the second floor of that church.
There's a story that I did years ago. I can't remember the guy's name. I know it was Jack. Have fun sleuthing this one. Shout out if you find it. But it was took place in Oregon, and this guy came to talk about his experiences with the church that he was part of, the ministry, and it was dark. It was dark, and I don't remember all the details, but I do remember it was like the church, the leadership at the church was not who they were portraying themselves to be. And, you kind of walk into this stuff. I think it was a members episode, by the way. You kind of walk into churches and you're like, we're all team Jesus, right? And not only could the people attending the church maybe not be team Jesus, some of them, but maybe even the church was founded by a leader that's not team Jesus, I hate to say it, but it's possible. Our church was hit with local pagans. They had a pagan festival, and the week before, my pastor and some other deacons at the church just went through the park praying over the park, before the pagan festival came. and the Pagan Festival happened, let's say, I think it was a Saturday. We come into church on Sunday, and there's these ashes spread across all our doorways.
Whoa.
And, you know, could it be that they just decided to target a church down the road randomly? Sure, but that would also show their intentions. But I lean more towards the idea that our church was targeted because there were human agents that were pushed to target it because of what the leadership at this church did the week before. And so there's, you know, again, you could go, oh, well, it was just human pagans who decided to randomly pick a church to hit because clearly then, I mean, they had some kind of intent. Or I think more likely is there were entities that were present the day that the leadership of my church walked through praying, and they prodded human agents to retaliate, and the human agent didn't even totally understand why they were doing it, other than they were prodded to do it, and they probably don't even know and realize they were being prodded. We often talk about people getting these quote unquote downloads, and it's just like, oh, it was a creative idea and it turned into the Matrix, and it's like, or you were given this information, like there's so many things you see in pop culture, like. That's actually real, and they're portraying it as science fiction, and it feels like the director, the person who wrote the script, got a download from somewhere, and they may not even realize, they just think they're creative, and it's like, hey, you are creative, but that's more than just creativity. And so I think that there's a lot of that kind of stuff that happens, probably not just in this area, but all over the place, and it creates a soft spot, and that's where cryptids, for me, like, I think the veil's thin here, and I think there's probably a reason why cryptids are such a big thing in this area. It's because they pop in and out a lot here. I think that they're very supernatural beings, and they leave hints along the way. You mentioned about how, I don't know how long we've been going, probably like an hour or two, but a while back you mentioned about the stump and the apple, and there was, I think you said 2 tracks there. Like, why? If you have an 18-inch print and you only have 2 impressions, to me, I'm like, logically and physically, that doesn't make sense. Right. And that's where the supernatural side of me comes in with, that side of stuff. Now, the prints that were around that stump, were they castable? No. Because what you have here at the table is something that didn't happen at your house, I guess?
Not at my home. It was at the property that is currently my stomping ground.
So the property that's currently your stomping ground, this happened at?
Yes, this track,
I'll need the address. Tell the whole world the address right now. We're doxing your area.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Is it in East Tennessee?
It's in Anderson County.
Anderson County. Okay. I got the county out of them. I got the county
You
out
did
of
your
them.
job.
So in Anderson County,
yes,
Tennessee,
yes,
you got this print.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How far from here?
Gosh, how far is it to
Roughly.
my house? 25 miles, maybe.
Wow. It's not far.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So how'd you stumble across it? And so then I want you to show people what you got.
The owner of the property. Been talking to her for years. There's Bigfoot here. There's Bigfoot here. And okay. And I think I mentioned to you before the show started, or I was talking to Martin about it. I didn't really believe her. I thought because her kids were rowdy. And I don't mean rowdy in a bad way. They just like to play tricks on their mother.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was going on for a long time. But then here recently, in the past couple of years, things have been gotten a little more crazy. There's a calf. Something was in the field with the calf. The mother cow, she was just going nuts. And the calf was crying. And something was dragging that calf. And when they turned the headlights on the vehicle, they didn't see anything, but they heard a big thud. And the next morning, when they were brave enough to go down there, they found that calf laying next to a cross-tie fence post. And whatever had killed that calf had beat its head against that post and killed it. There were no scratch marks. There was no blood. but that calf was graveyard dead. And she's had a horse killed. Don't know if it was a heart attack kind of thing, because she did mention when she turned the horse over before they buried it, it had a big knot on its neck where it looked like its neck had been broken. Many chickens missing. Dogs killed and left on the property. Killed and gone. Then, of course, back in February or so, she had an encounter. She actually saw one at a probably, I'd like to say about 50 yards away, but it was much close enough for her to realize who she was looking at, because she did have a flashlight on it for just a few seconds. The glowing red eyes, for example. Large build with matted hair. Couldn't really see a whole lot of its face, but you could see the eyes through the hair that was hanging over its face, that kind of thing. And she would stay in contact with me. I'd go up and talk to her. She'd say, hey, I've seen this. She'd text me. She's messaging me. This is going on at my house right now. And I'm thinking, okay, it's 1 a.m. I'm not going. I'm just not going. And the next day I'd go talk to her, and she would say all these things and tell me all this stuff. And then the one day she said, I think I found a track. It's okay, let's go. And we went up on the property, and there it was. And we found another one after we came down from casting this one. But it wasn't really castable, but it was pretty much the same size. And there were several of them down near her home that were pretty much this size. And it wasn't, and it's like you mentioned, one here, one there, randomly. I would always find one or two, but never a trackway. Mm-hmm. That's always one of the strangest things. Every track that I've ever found has been a single right foot. And I think the two that I found were the same one over near Oak Ridge.
Wow.
So we casted this one, and I was very disappointed in it because it's not what you would normally see. All these beautiful tracks that people cast, and they've got all the toes and the dermal ridges and all this stuff, and mine's got leaf clutter and all that stuff on it. But it does show a mid-tarsal break. Mm-hmm. And again, right next to that track was a small pine tree, maybe roughly 2 inches in diameter, with smaller limbs coming off of it, and each one of those was twisted, just as people say they see limbs twisted. But it was a small tree. It wasn't something huge. And inside those twists were black hairs. And she and I both collected those hairs, and I still got them. And that's, and then there have been a few other things happen up there, and she's just always talking about it. And when we get off air, I'll share a specific area near her place that is considered haunted. The area is considered haunted. A lot of people have died in the area. Coal mines, things of that nature. A lot of there was a huge coal mine cave-in and that killed several people. I think it was up in the teens or even more. A lot of people died. It was considered a tragedy. There was a small incursion from miners and the United States Army in the 1800s in this area. So there's a lot of stuff which, in my opinion, and I think yours too, thins the veil.
Yeah.
So and this thing is there too. I hate to say thing because I think they're not things. I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know who they are.
Leave it to me to be disrespectful.
They are. I'll go that. They are. Whatever they are, they are.
You want to show it?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to show it? I'll let you show it.
Okay.
Just show. That's cool. And again, it's not very specific. It's not huge, but it has a mid-tarsal break.
I think it's huge enough. Let me pull up the monitor here so that people can see. So you can see that there you go. That mid-tarsal break right there. And I would say this is what, 13 inches?
It's running
inches?
around about 14.
You can kind of see you can see I mean, people won't be able to see on camera here, but this right here is that mid-tarsal break.
Yeah.
I'm scared to hold it, man. I don't want to break it. I won't break it.
And I don't want to break it either, but hopefully I won't. It's. I mean, as strange as it sounds, this is a big deal to me.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
Oh,
I
it
didn't
needs to-
find it.
Should be. Yeah.
I didn't find it.
It should
She
be.
allowed me to cast it. She's allowed me to keep it, and as
It-
far as-
it's a great print. It really, truly is a
Yeah.
great.
I've never got a print that I was able to cast. I don't think. I don't
well,
recall.
that's the thing about Tennessee. It's not an easy task in Tennessee with the
Yeah.
hardwood forest and the leaf clutter and all that, and I can show you pictures of these other ones. And like I say, I told Martin, I don't think they may or they may not be. The ones I mentioned near the stump where I put the apple, I don't know for sure, but they certainly do look like them. But if you can imagine, I've got a lot of trees on my property down around Midway, and there's not a lot of grass that grows under trees. That's just common, but there's a lot of like pieces of acorns and weeds and things like that, little gravel and stuff that kindly accumulates under these trees. And there had been a large rain, big rain, come a month or so ago, and after that rain, I went down and was looking around, seeing if the apple was still there. The apple's gone. But there were these impressions. Now, I've considered this and thought about this, that if water pools on a hill, on a grade, and it pools like this, eventually one side's going to break out and it's going to roll down. And you might get this imprint that kind of looks like a track. But the thing about it was the largest of the tracks was sideways. And it still looked like a track. And that, to me, I don't know. It's kind of creepy, though, because it goes right in line with Scott Carpenter, the incidents that he had, the experiences he had when he would go home. And I believe he told me personally, don't get too involved. They'll follow you home. Now, I've not had anything bad happen. And like you say, and I just tell you, I do the praying too. I said, protect my home, protect my property. Don't let nothing kill my dogs, that kind of stuff. Keep them at bay. I don't want them here. And I'll go so far as to tell you this. I speak to them. I'll sit out on my back porch. I'll step out on my back porch at night and I say, you don't belong here. This is not your home. This is not your place. I will respect your place if you respect mine. And I've heard a lot of people talk like that. So again, as I mentioned, I think either in the beginning of the show or before we got on here, actually live, I'm not sure who or what they are. And I'm not ready to call them evil, because I would think that if they were truly darkness, there'd be a lot more of it going on. If somebody sees a Sasquatch and they live through it and they're not injured, what does that mean? And you have all these other stories of where they were benevolent and they helped people. And they, like, what's the little story about the North Carolina kid that everybody said he hung out with a bear? He said it was a bear.
Yeah.
But bear would eat the child.
Yeah.
Bear would tear that child to pieces. But whatever he was with didn't do that. And actually, from what I understand, he got lost somewhere. He went in the woods somewhere, and he was found somewhere else, a long way away. It sounds very similar to the missing 411 stuff, but the kid's alive, and he came out of the woods and said a bear took care of him.
So where was I going with that? Gosh, I hate when that happens. All right. I'm just going to start talking and see where it goes. So you mentioned about how if you'll say, like, this is my property. If you don't respect my property, I won't disrespect yours. Are you willing to disrespect their property if they disrespect yours? No, that's sarcastic. That's a sarcastic question.
in a physically frightful kind of way, no.
Okay, good, because I don't know if I'd want to do that either. But all right, so here's something, because you and I probably are definitely different in this area, because I'm not. Once upon a time, I was definitely more in the camp of, like, I don't know if they're all bad. I don't know if they're bad or good. I don't know, right? But I would say, because earlier you brought up the idea of people being evil, but it depends on who you're interacting with,
Right.
because, like, if you have a known bad guy, I can't think of an example, but like a known bad guy, there are people around that known bad guy that don't have the perspective of the public.
Yeah.
Like there are people who have had great interactions with that person, and that's why you hear people say, I can't believe they would do this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I get you.
And so if these things are as intelligent as I think we all agree with at the table and stuff, and there is a level of real intelligence there, could there be a level of willingness to go the manipulative route?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that. I don't know what I'm saying as far as maybe that's meme that. Like, I don't know what I'm saying, but like I'm looking at this picture of Bigfoot behind you.
Yeah.
And I don't think I want to say that Bigfoot is evil as a blanket statement. But I do want to acknowledge, just like I would acknowledge with demonic entities, that there's manipulation that people have experienced with demonic entities to get them to do things that they normally in their sane mind wouldn't have done, right?
Right.
And I would question if these things are as intelligent as we all believe they are, and they know the truth of where they come from and what they are, could there be a level of manipulation? And that just goes into, and I hate to bring it back around to this, but that just goes into my thought process of the ultimate thing that's going on in our daily lives. I believe that we are in war. There's a spiritual battle, and there are different agents. There are different levels to kingdoms of darkness, kingdoms of light. And could it be that there is a level of manipulation as the overarching theme of a section of this manipulative war? Yeah. I don't know if that's to be true. I don't even know if what I said makes sense.
It does.
But
Well,
here, put your mic closer to you when you say that.
It makes sense.
when I look at
Tony
this,
Merkel makes complete common sense. Yeah.
when I look at it, I'm speaking in a generality.
Sure.
The Bible tells us that mankind is evil. The
Right.
heart of man is wicked.
Right.
So even though the people at this table may not be mass murderers or people who would commit such atrocities that I wouldn't want to
There's
speak
always
of.
somebody in the world that could look at us and say, you're not a good guy because
Yeah.
of the man's standards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know that every one of us without Christ has the potential to be as evil
Yes.
as
Yes.
Adolf Hitler
Sure.
or his cronies or some mass murderer or child killer. And that rings on me because I know that without God and the grace that he's given my life, I could be one of those people. And when you think about people in prison, are they evil? Well, no, they just messed up most of the time. People who manipulate and murder people, I start looking at the evil side of things then. But why would it not be possible that in the grand scheme of creation, these beings, these Sasquatch, are no different than we are? There are, I think David Politis mentioned something about they don't come to us. It's like something's holding them back. Something does not allow them to interact with us. Maybe a higher power is saying, you can't touch my children, that kind of thing. And I even had one guy tell me one time that a Christian cannot see Sasquatch. And I thought, well, I don't hardly believe that because I'm pretty sure my mom was a born-again child of God and she had an experience. A lot of people in my family have seen these things. But how is it, they are, if they are a people rather than some sort of animal, and on the Chronicles, Wes talks to people all the time, say, well, it didn't look like an ape, it looked like a person. It looked like a hairy Native American, or it looked just like a gorilla, or it looked like this, or they don't all look the same. You put a row of red dachshunds out here, and you probably won't be able to tell them apart unless you know your dog specifically. And they're not like that. They are all different, just like we are all different. There's a level of those beings that is more like us, and I would believe that they would have the option or the choice, like we talked about earlier, to choose good or evil. And maybe there are those out there that are evil, and then those that are not.
Yeah, so Joel...
And you never know what you're going to get. It's just like with people.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're talking to. So...
Yeah, and there's different types of patterns that pop up with the creatures too. I mean, I don't remember where I heard this from, but I had heard that somebody had the perspective, because they had multiple experiences with these things. They notice a trend of the red-haired ones are the ones that are a problem.
Yeah.
And so there's different patterns you start noticing and recognizing. And I think that's to the individual and their personal experiences with it. Then I was going to say, Joel, my friend Joel from Free the Rabbits, he did an episode. I think he did it on our show for a Christmas episode. I think he called it Good Nephilim. And I think he tackled that idea of, is it possible that the Nephilim, and let's just call Bigfoot a hybrid creature. Maybe that's why some people say they have more human looking to it. Maybe they are some kind of hybrid, right? But he said his perspective was, is it possible that Bigfoot, or not Bigfoot, but Nephilim could choose to be good, choose to want to do the right thing? And I would say that's an open-ended question, because I don't think anybody really truly has an answer to that. Just like with a lot of this stuff, I mean, like this is a table of theories. You know what I mean? You never saw. You said you never saw one, right?
I've never seen.
Yeah, you never saw one. I never saw one. I was charged by an invisible force in the woods that scared the crap out of me. You never saw one, Derek, right?
Just heard random things.
So like he
things.
saw, like Martin sees one, right? Martin, the ones that you saw that night at the scene when you guys hit the lights on, what did they look like?
To me, they were. I can't say if they were evil or not by the general look. Just not man, not ape, somewhere in between, and just extremely fierce looking. And I'm hung in between. I highly respect what Matt says and what Derek and you say, but I'm kind of hung in between, because biblically, you have to look at even with Enoch when he pled case to God concerning some of the Nephilim. And so are they all evil? Are they good? Are there some good? I don't know. But what I saw on that field frightened me, scared me. I wasn't at a spiritual place as I am now, where I would be as strong. But what I saw was sheer evil look on the faces of these two beasts of the field, whatever name we would have to give them. But some have asked me, were they there to protect me, or were they there to direct the dogmen in the attack? I don't know. But I did not see, per se, and you've heard me say it comically, they were not Harry and the Henderson-looking guy that, wants to sit on your front sofa. That's the only way I know how to say it.
I mean, just given and anybody who maybe if this is your first time seeing Martin Groves, just go to the YouTube channel, hit videos, then hit popular, and he's like the second most popular video that we have, I think. And you'll hear his whole story. But when you have that scene unfold, I mean, those things are just standing there watching it unfold.
Yes.
So
yes.
if they are there to protect, they did a crappy job, because literally you had to protect yourself. They didn't budge. They didn't intervene. You didn't even see them directing. Like the other theory of them directing the scene, right? Like you didn't see them directing. They just were existing there. They were just existing there.
One thing that I'd hid for many years, and I'd like many of you have sought out Scott and his wisdom. Scott at one point had told me not to be ashamed of mind speak or to speak of it publicly, because that was something I did. That was the first time that I had received any type of mind speak. And in some of my interviews and when I'm talking face to face to people, that was the very first authentic, what I felt and what I know now was mind speak. And the message that I received was given, go, leave now, we let you win, and don't come back. and that was the mind speak that I had received. So that kind of taught me that, hey, we let you go this time. And that mind speak has progressed over a period of 30 some odd years now. But I perceived that night was very evil from both the Bigfoot hairy man as well as the Dogman that I had encountered. I did not have a good feeling at all that these beasts were friendly. But we go back to dozens of friends and people that I've known in the Bigfoot world. One of my great friends, I won't use his name, in Texas, has 2 that protect him and his property in Texas. I have friends in Alabama that say that they have a old male Bigfoot on their property that actually watches over their farm and protects their animals.
I mean, Janice Carter, local here.
Yes.
I mean, her family, from what I understand, her family had like ongoing interaction with a family of Bigfoot right here in this area, and Janice is still alive. Yeah. And Eddie says that she comes into the shop sometimes, and I've texted with her about coming on the show and talking, and it doesn't really develop anywhere. But I mean, that's a local family.
Yeah, Miss Janice and Miss Green, and so many. I could give so many accounts of people that have had good interaction.
Right.
And so I have to believe with what Matt says, that just like humans, maybe there's some good and there's some bad.
Interesting theory, going back to the Sasquatch Chronicles episode I mentioned earlier, is that I think at one point a lady had come to the farm to try to like stop the Sasquatch activity on the property. And I think it was very negative, like the activity that was going on this farm. And then the lady that came to help, she goes, "Oh, they're empty suits. So they don't really have the same spiritual like development as a human, so that entities can either instantly possess them or not."
Yes.
So like there could be, I mean, maybe that fits both of these categories a little bit, where
That's
like if they're not possessed, they are more so just creatures of the woods, where if they are being possessed by the White Witch, Lilith, other entities, that they are then supernatural horrors in the woods. That's just something interesting that might correlate in a theory.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
That takes everything into one.
From tribe to tribe. And I find it so strange that we're all sitting here talking together today. From tribe to tribe, you have the natives in Alaska, that their idea of the Nantinaq or the hairy man is a killer. You go to tribes in Washington, he is a forest protector and is good and helps their tribes. And then we have scientific evidence and accounts of one of the very last Indians through her journal that knew that Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or Nephilim was cannibalistic and took her tribe and killed and eat them. And then you come to Tennessee. You have the red-haired giants that come from all the way up to Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, all the way down, and they were killers. So which is it? Are some good, some bad? I talk to an individual quite often from Alaska that will tell you point blank that if you get one in your scope, you'd better kill it. Because they are cannibalistic and they will eat you, and as a result, that's why you have so many missing people in the state of Alaska, and their bodies are never found.
Yeah.
There's I have to look it up real quick. There's a legend. Yeah, I think it's 1855. I think it's the War of 1855, and it was in Oklahoma. I believe
Choctaw Wars.
Yeah.
Choctaw.
And the
did
reason,
I say that right, or is it Choctaw or another tribe? I can't remember the tribe.
it was like I call it the Bigfoot War. Yeah, the Bigfoot War of 1855. Here's an article about it: a dark legend of cannibalistic Sasquatch in eastern Oklahoma, and there was I can't remember his name. I'm trying to just skim this article to see if I can see it pop out anywhere. There was a soldier. So this was supposedly a problem to the point that the United States military got involved, and they, I guess, partnered with a local tribe of Native Americans, and the tribe was giants. Like the people who went out with them to hunt down these Sasquatch, these Native Americans were 7 feet tall or taller. And they go out to hunt these things down because they were coming and taking their women and children. And I believe the legend is that there was 3 or 4 of them that they came across, and it was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. And the general or Colonel LaFleur? Joshua LaFleur. Was he a colonel or a general? Does it say? Look it up though. I'm pretty sure. Like I remember looking into this, and he was an actual real person that died in 1855.
The county's named after him.
Is it?
Yes.
So the county's named after him, and so now it's just this question of, is this legend real or not? And if it's not real, why did Joshua LaFleur, of all people, get tied into a legend of a Bigfoot war that happened where Native Americans that were 7 feet tall or taller teaming up with the United States military?
And to go along with it, there are actual journal accounts of how large that these tribe of Native Americans were, including whatever his officer rank was. He was a huge man and well known to be extremely strong. And so
LaFleur was?
Yes,
Okay.
he was an extremely strong man. And the rest of his cavalry unit, they were a cavalry unit. And they too were of large size and very strong and very brave. And they rushed into these Bigfoot. And of course, Captain LaFleur is killed immediately and rips his head off. But I go back to, okay, if this is not a true story, how come we have Joshua? How come he is listed in the Army and all these other factuals that go with it? So I'm inclined to believe the story, whether those that say it's not a true story. But I believe it myself.
If they say it's not real,
It's probably
prove
real.
it.
Yeah, prove it. Show me. Yeah,
It's all
show me.
natives. I mean, like there's John Smith when he came into Virginia, made a map of the Chesapeake area, and then in Pennsylvania there is like there's normal Indians drawn, and then right where Reading, that area, I think they filled it with a dam where the natives were now. Of course, they covered it in water, the whole old village, and that drawing has like 7-8 foot Native Americans, as opposed to all the other tribal people that were drawn in the map that he made. So, I mean, like, there's evidence. I think there's a lot of good evidence to support, like, really tall natives.
She said in like a Reading area?
Yeah, it's right where I think the Susquehanna came in to the Chesapeake.
Interesting. That's really interesting. I think I know where that dam is. And if that's the dam that I'm thinking of, my parents live like 5-10 minutes from there.
They were close, weren't they?
They were closer than I realized.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, going to Pennsylvania then, based off of what you just said, there's old newspaper articles that show giant skeletons that are being unearthed in Pennsylvania. And if I remember correctly, there's 2 separate articles. One was out in the Pittsburgh area, and one was in like the north central Pennsylvania area. Both were discoveries of, I think, like 40 plus giant skeletons, like all buried together.
I have a friend just outside of Poxitawney that where some of the mounds were in one of the wildlife management areas up there, and giants, man, giants are being unearthed.
I'm moving back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just for like a weekend.
Well, I got the close friend that moved here from Poxitawney, and we were very close. And he says there's a lot of good people in Pennsylvania and patriots to boot.
Yeah.
Hunters and patriots.
Yeah. Well, especially Poxitawney area. Philadelphia, maybe not as much, but interesting about Pennsylvania, not, this is a Tennessee show, but Pennsylvania, there's basically stemming across, I forget the logistics of this. We connected these dots years ago. Stemming across the southern border of Pennsylvania is where you're going to get most your Dogman encounters.
Wow.
There's a lot of dogman encounters in Pennsylvania, and they all seem to stem across the bottom of the state, and it tends to stop Harrisburg-ish area. So you're talking about like half the state, southwestern half of the state is a lot of dogman, and I'm sure that goes over into West Virginia and things like that. But it makes you wonder why. And we were going back to the territorial side of things. Like, are there territories for these things where this is their area, and that's where they roam? Jack and I went to a place in Pennsylvania, out in the Harrisburg areas, past Gettysburg. We found a place. This is when I first started like my journeys and trying to document them. We found a place where, and I still am big on this, where the idea of finding a location that has history to it, that is verifiable, that also has cryptid activity. Just because when I'm making a video about something, I want to know I can get somewhere where it's interesting. So I found an old World War II prisoner of war camp that had Nazis actually taken there and interrogated. And I was like, okay, I would like to go find the old prisoner of war camp in the middle of the woods. And also there's Bigfoot activity there, right? So we get there late. It was like 10:30 at night, and we find these ruins. It was awesome. But there was Bigfoot activity there. And that night, people talk about the electronics failing and all that stuff. That happened to us, but it's like I can't get around the human side of it too. But it's like, do they just go hand in hand? So sometimes there's glitches with technology that you don't understand how it's possible. The battery's draining, all that stuff. But then it's like, okay, my batteries didn't drain. I'm good. We got that on camera, right? And it's like, yeah, we got that on camera. You go back and you're like, oh, crap. This is explainable, and we didn't get it on camera. And it's like, why? So like what I'm talking about right now is that night him and I go out, he sets the camera on the hood of the truck, and it was raining, and the camera falls off the hood, and it falls on the ground, and I'm like, oh, and we pick it up, we look at it, it looks good, it's working, perfect, cool. And we go through our whole night hiking, and I had a camera, he had a camera, and we're recording the whole night. We go to this end of this trail that we were on, and it kind of opens up into an area, and so I turn off my camera. And so he has his camera running with a mic, and I pull out a K2 meter, and I'm in the middle of the woods. And so I'm like, if there's any kind of supernatural thing happening here, this is years ago. My perspectives on things have changed quite a bit. Maybe it'll register on the K2 meter like they do in these haunted houses. Kid you not. This is on camera. The K2 meter starts jumping hard. And we're out in the middle of the woods. Like, there's no power lines around us, nothing, And then while this is jumping, we hear off in the distance just like this loud, this loud like yell, like it was loud and long. If I'm lying, I ain't lying. Jack's here to verify. Well, Jack can't verify, but I can tell people he's over there nodding. Nod, Jack. See? So, but I'm like, and on camera, you see me look at the camera. I'm like, my eyes are big as saucers. And I said to Jack, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Oh, you're tell me you're recording." He's like, "I'm recording." I'm like, "Oh yes," because I'm like, this is the only time I'm ever gonna have this opportunity to hear that. Like, it doesn't happen for everybody, and I caught it on a recording. Yes. We go back to the truck, and the whole recording, there's no audio. And I'm like, what the heck? There's just this like electronic buzzing. And then when you look at the wire connecting the microphone to the camera, when it fell off the hood, the wire got damaged. It like snapped and got pulled out. And so like we had video of me reacting to what we were hearing, but there was no audio. And I was just, in that moment, I'm like, my batteries didn't die though. But I still don't have the audio for something else. So it's like, is that a human thing? It's just an unfortunate situation, or is that something other than just an unfortunate situation? You know, it's on the level of batteries draining. It's just not the batteries didn't get drained. It's just something pushed my camera off the hood and snapped the wire. But either way, we don't have the audio from that, and that was depressing. Jack, is that video on the YouTube channel? What's the playlist called? Twilight Treks, right? Did you already put it on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, he already put it on
POW.
there. Yeah.
Camp.
Prisoner of War Camp. Jack's on it, man. Jack's on it. But
We
anyways.
must go on the record and say Jack is an amazing man.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on board
As
today.
amazing as his hair.
Yes.
That we can't see.
Yeah, we
today.
didn't get a chance to talk about his hair today. He's got amazing hair, ladies. Jack, come over here and stand in front of the camera real quick. No? Okay, he won't do it.
Oh man.
You ask about you mentioned, is it a human thing or is it something else? Two of my members, one of whom I mentioned, whose daughter died and she left the group. My other member, he passed away a few years ago. So I can't put them in front of you to tell you this happened. But this is what they told me. They go to Baker Creek. You familiar with, that's one of Scott Carpenter's stomping grounds.
Yeah.
They went there, got out of the truck. As soon as they got out of the truck, the guy got sick. Just sick. I can't stay here. I've got to go. Something's wrong. I got to go. They get back in the truck and they leave. A mile or two down the road, so it's gone. He's fine. He feels fine. Let's go back. I think I can go back. So they go back. He gets out of the truck again, and she's turned and walked around in front of him, and he's fine. And she's standing there and she's videotaping. And yeah, it is digital. It was digital, but it was an older tech. And she started recording screams, all sorts of sounds, trees being shaken, limbs being thrown, things of that nature. You know, because they were getting ready to go into these woods to look around. Well, they never left the roadside. All this stuff was going on. And they're not going. I'm not going. We're going home. Let's go. We're not dealing with this. So they leave. And as they're driving away, she pulls out her camera and she starts watching what they have just recorded. It's not there.
Wow.
The trees are there. Okay? They're talking to each other is there, but there are no screams
Yeah.
or nothing. And to me, that tells me that was mental manipulation. And that might have been, you know, when you first said that, when you first said, I didn't get any audio, that's okay. I know what that's about. But then you say it was damaged.
Yeah,
But-
it was damaged. But
there are people, you can talk to people who go out together and they talk about, oh, did you hear that? No, I didn't hear anything. Maybe it wasn't directed at those other folks. It was directed to this person. And it was all in their head. They didn't. I asked you one time at the conference, and I wasn't trying to play down what happened to you.
Right.
But you had these two Sasquatch off to the side watching. And I thought to myself, well, this happened to my two group members. Is it possible, Martin, that what you encountered was a figment of your imagination or a manipulation of your mind by the two Sasquatch that were standing there watching to see what would happen?
Very deep, and you know, when we speak of the manipulation or of the what can be imprinted upon us as humans, time after time again, one person in a group will be singled out, and he or she will see something, and the rest of the group is standing only feet away and has zero encounter. And also I think it goes back to if some of us are empath or if we are capable of achieving the fourth dimension where most of us are only three-dimensional.
Right.
And so, so you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, I've always found that interesting. And, you know, they talk about infrasound, and we know that infrasound affects the mind. It affects us. It affects, you know, other animals have infrasound, and that happens to them too. The gazelle freezes for just a few moments before the jaguar or leopard attacks because it has this ability. If Bigfoot has that ability and they have the intelligence that I believe they have, they can make you see what you want to see.
Yes.
And they can make you hear, feel what they want you to.
Make you freeze up.
Make you freeze.
Totally immobile.
Yeah. And the fear is just incredible. I think to myself, okay, I've done this for over 20 years and I've heard all these stories and I've listened to all these videos and listened to sounds. And if I see Bigfoot, I don't think it would affect me that much. But then I think a little bit deeper and I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I might fall apart just like a lot of people do.
I find with all the witnesses, I mean, we're up to almost 3,000 witnesses that I have personally interviewed, orally, most of them face to face. And it affects so many people in a different manner. One person achieves a dubious or a very positive feeling, wow, this is incredible, thus flash of beauty.
Yeah.
And then others are so incredibly shaken from this episode, affected with PTSD, and can't go back into the woods anymore. And I'm talking about manly men.
Yeah.
These are men of the woods. They've been killing bears all their life, and it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking when you just said that, I was thinking, like, have I been in the woods since I was charged? I don't know if I've ever gone back to that location. Now I'm wondering psychologically, am I scared to go back? Now I got to prove it. I got to go back. Now I have to. I'm thinking, I don't know if I've ever gone back to that location.
I've been trying to get you in the woods for the whole time I've been here. So.
Yeah, but it's...
A lot of ticks out there.
There's a lot of that's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, when I first came in today off camera, we were all talking. I meet up from head to toe with chiggers.
Oh,
and we were, you could say we're Bigfooting, but we were actually out looking for the greatest meal on earth. We're looking for chanterelles.
Yeah,
and that's when I think I told you, Derek, about the lady that was with me. She is an older lady, very very wonderful human being. And that's where we had seen a portal open up, and she had seen a face coming out of a tree. And I turn over and I look, and I see it too. But we were after the chanterelles in the woods, and man, the chiggers just eat me alive.
Yeah.
Cannibalistic chuds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that just happened? You just saw a portal with a face?
Less than 2 weeks.
Save it. We're doing a recording after this with just Martin, and I don't want to get into it right now. Derek, chill out.
2 weeks.
So, anyways, I am going to bring this in for a landing. We've been going for 3 hours, and so it is time to bring it in. I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'll say it now. You guys both have books on Amazon. Jack, if you get a chance, if you could pull them up on the screen. Start with Matt. Start with Matt's book.
Yeah.
And let people know what the book's about.
Basically, a little bit of my early life, some of the things that happened when I was young, some of the stories I'd heard when I was young, how I got into what I'm doing, and some of the different ideas that people have, including a few of my own, about who or what these things are. And I tried to make it something real simple for someone who doesn't believe in any way, shape, or form, just to give them an idea of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really complicated anyway. So I just tried to put it in layman's terms as to what people think they are, what they could be. So it's really kind of it's a short read, maybe 2.5 hours.
His book is excellent. I read it. He's a great author. He was able to put it in layman's terms for everyone to enjoy. I love your book, and I thank you for giving it to me a long time ago. Thank you, sir.
Means a lot to me.
I actually think your book's on my shelf out in the hallway.
Yeah.
Do that or at the office. But you have 3 books, right? 5?
Yes, I've got 3 now. There's one should come out before long. Beast Between the Rivers, A Trace of Death, in which Tony Merkel himself helped design the cover, and it's one of my favorite covers. The third one is a labor of love, and it was The Devil's Backbone, and Sibylla Irwin was the creator of the cover, which, I mean, all you got to do, I mean, it's like you say the name Sibylla Irwin and you get goosebumps.
Wow.
Because she was in the woods,
Absolutely.
doing things in the woods, chasing Bigfoot when most men would be cowered at home watching it on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just an epic lady.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever had her on the show.
She's a great woman.
Yeah,
Her granddaughter is a Texas Ranger. God bless her granddaughter. She is one tough lady and Texas Ranger, man. But Sibylla Irwin is just a super nice individual.
Yeah, first time I met her was probably in 2014, 2015 at the Salt Fork State Park Bigfoot Conference. And I met her there, and she did the recreation for Dave Groves, not Martin Groves, Dave Groves.
Dave, yes.
You know Dave?
Yes.
Him and I go back a long time.
Yeah.
But he had an encounter with Sasquatch in Pennsylvania, and daylight sighting, very clear. It stood there, looked. He got a great look at it.
Yes.
And she did a recreation and stuff. And I remember when she gave him, she did like a plaster, like not mask, but like could have made a mask, right? It was like a 3D artistic rendering of the face. And I remember when she gave it to him, he just looked at it. He's like, "That is spot on, spot on." And so yeah, good person. Shout out to her, and shout out to everybody watching this for the last 3 hours. Over 1,000 people. I think we broke like 1,100 people live viewers and stuff. So thanks for tuning in. If you want more of this, I'll see you Saturday, July 25th at the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference, because Derek's going to be there, Jack's going to be there, I'll be there, Matt's going to be there, Martin will be there, and countless other people.
And Sammy the Sasquatch.
Sammy the Sasquatch, David Polides, Maria Mayer, Seth Breedlove, lots of different people are going to be there. It's going to be a hopping place in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So if you're bored and you're in the state of Maine and you feel like doing a road trip, come on down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference. I'll see you there this coming Saturday. Bye.
Oh boy, is that Slingshot?
Yeah. Slingshot season. Hey, let's run it. Hey. Grace hit me like boom, can't miss. God with me, whole squad gon' win. Devil try to throw shade, I grin 'cause the light too